You're a man of supreme confidence, quiet humility. I agree, but you're confident. Did it ever break you? Did you ever feel like this is a lot of pressure? Did you ever feel like, hey, I may be doing a long-term job, but then I'm going to get fired, and somebody else will benefit from all the hard work I've done?
It was a bad period for us. We had a few injuries. I'm not saying that as an excuse, but we made a change. That summer, we did a fire sale. We got rid of 9-10 players because I didn't think they could accept another challenge. They'd been too long, too many failures. So we freshened up. We brought 5 younger players in: Gary Pallister, Mike Phelan, Neil Webb, Paul Ince, and Danny Wallace, and they could accept challenge because they're coming to Manchester United. They're young, and being young, they've got the freshness about them and energy. And then with gigs coming through at the same time, and Wee Sharp and Wee Martin, so there was definitely a change. But we had that period you're talking about with some players injured, and we weren't getting the results. There's no doubt about that. And there's all the talk about my job was on the line, etc., etc. We lost a game to Crystal Palace. This guy had a banner, Tara Ferguson, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And yet, you could be bowed by that. You know, there's no doubt you could be affected because confidence plays a part in everyone's life. But I never thought I'd be sacked because I knew I was doing the right things. And the board knew I was doing the right things, particularly on the foundation of the club. The foundation of the club was getting stronger by the minute. The break we got was beating Notts Forest at their ground, who arguably had the best cup record at the time in England.
Right.
And that accelerated the progress. We won the cup, and things changed dramatically after that. And plus the fact that the young players were coming through, you know, it's that guy who did the banner up. This is amazing. I think it was last summer. I was in the house, and somebody comes to my door and gives me a book. He wrote a book about it.
You wrote a book about
Tara
that?
Ferguson, yeah. So
Couldn't have been a long book.
I gave him it back. No way was I reading that.
No.
But
it had a happy ending, though.
Yeah, we won the cup, and where the next year we won the European Cup Winners' Cup, and then we won the league for the first time, and League Cup and things like that. And I think that anyone who's having difficulty in life has to think about one thing: win your next game, or your next press conference, your next hole at golf, or your next we call it point at tennis. The only thing you can ever think, never look back and say how we lost that game. Move forward from it and win the next point or the next goal. Always try to be positive about that part, and keep the strong conviction. Don't listen to too many people. I think listening to too many people is you get too many negative things, you know.
Well, that's a question I have. You at that point. You were doing really well, and I remember Fabio Capello, one man who admires you. By the way, they all say you're the best. When I compare them to another manager, they say, no, I'm better than him, but they always say, no, okay, Sir Alex the best. But Fabio Capello said to me, the hardest thing is to do what you've done, which is to create a new team. And one time on the show, I made the fatal mistake of saying, Sir Alex, I think you created 4 new teams, and before I could get to that, you said 5. And I was counting. I made a mistake, obviously. But that hard part about, you know, and Fabio said that's the hardest thing to do because it often is ruthless, no matter who the player is. But I have to, somebody's been loyal to you, done well for you, you know, then how do you deal with something like that?
Well, you have to be honest. You have to tell them the truth. That's the most important thing. But remember one thing: all the evidence is on the football field. And I've had many players who came to that age where their game is going back the way. They don't actually realise themselves, you know, because they don't want to leave Manchester United. They're loving their football. But I've got to give me, because I'm the manager of Manchester United. I'm not their agent. I'm not their lawyer. I'm not their father. And that horrible part you have to do is to recognise that, because Manchester United have to move on all the time, and it's not easy because they do become family. You know, some of the players I've had with me for 10 years, 12 years. But what I try to do with them, particularly the ones who I knew could give another club another couple of years. With Steve Bruce, I got him to Birmingham City. Dennis Irwin, I got him to Wolverhampton Wanderers. You know, I moved players on so they get Gary Powers up to Middlesbrough, and they continued playing for another couple of years. So, as much as you know that they're not quite what you expect of a Manchester United player, nonetheless, they made more money, maybe by transfer sums and things like that, and did okay. And I think they appreciated my honesty, because there's no use hedging when you're talking about players' careers. You got to be straight with them.
And you have an enormous belief in youth. Tell us a little bit when you knew the class of '92, if you will, was going to make it. How old were they when you thought, well, I'm going to put these guys in?
Beckham came in when he was about 11 or 12, and we had a great scout down in London called Malcolm Fidgen. He identified him, but the real impact was from Bobby Charlton. He had a soccer school at the time, and David had won an award, and it took a certain amount of players out to Barcelona in the trip, and Bobby realised the boy had the potential, and he was a big United fan. All his family were United fans. So that was David come about 11 or 12. The rest around about 13 years of age, you know.
Well, let's talk about that when you come back, Sir Alex Ferguson. You're listening to the Sirius XMFC Town Hall.
No one covers the Euros like Jason Davis and Eric Winolda.
There's no surprise when N'Golo Kanté pops up anywhere on the field.
There are not many sixes that are going to just immediately start running for the house. He recognizes the moment, and he's standing there with the fire extinguisher every time they're ready to shoot. The guy is still so good. If you're going to win games, that's how you do it.
Summer Soccer Tonight, every weeknight at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157.
From Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran,
It's just you and me.
to Zach Bryan,
Where hell am I supposed to go?
Phoebe Bridgers, Noah Kahan, and beyond. The Coffee House serves up the singer-songwriters reshaping the sound of this moment, alongside stripped-down classics and acoustic covers.
You got a fast car.
Drop into the Coffee House, Channel 3, and the Sirius XM app.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
I told you so! Jerry Jones, he has created a culture that is not conducive to winning big. Because Jerry Jones has made the Dallas Cowboys a soap opera.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker on Fox Sports Sirius XM Channel 83 and the Sirius XM app.
Only one team can bring home the prize.
Rodriguez near side. The power play's over. Shot tip. They score. Rodriguez got it on net. Reinhardt to the right circle. A shot. And he scores. A dream 30 years in the making. Yeah! Is a reality. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley is coming home.
Congratulations to the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Hey, this is Conan O'Brien. Check out my channel, Conan O'Brien Radio, on Sirius XM 104. You'll find my delightful Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, highlights from my late night shows, showcasing some of the most absurd and hilarious moments from my decades on television.
Come on, everyone, settle down. This is a serious TV show.
Plus, dive deep into 28 years of late night memories and behind the scenes with Inside Conan. Conan O'Brien Radio, only on Sirius XM, channel 104. Or listen with the Sirius XM app.
No one covers Copa America like Summer Soccer Morning with Charlie Stellitano.
The U.S. national team, with the young players we have, this is one of the top national team jobs in the world. There are many coaches that would love to be the U.S. national team coach. This is a huge moment for Greg Berhalter and the U.S. national team. We cannot afford to fail.
Summer Soccer Morning, every weekday morning at 8 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157. You're listening to the SiriusXM FC Town Hall with legendary Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson.
Giggs happy to just get the ball down the other end of the pitch, but can he do any more than that? Still Giggs goes, he's through, he scored! Ryan Giggs! Is that the goal that's won it for Manchester United?
I've got so much to thank Sir Alex for in my career. He's been, the biggest single influence on my career, the way he's looked after me, and of course the relationship's evolved and it's changed from being a young 13-year-old to obviously now. He's a great manager and a great person, and he's helped me so.
I'm not a gambling man, but I bet that you were going to be singing that song. Anyway, welcome back to the SiriusXM FC Town Hall with Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm Charlie Stilitano. I like to say the last button on the shirt. And you are the greatest manager of all time in our sport. Sir Alex, Alan Hansen one time famously said he'll never win anything with kids. And I remember reading that quote in a magazine when I was on an airplane going over, and I said, well, let's see, this guy has a pretty good idea what's going on. What did you think when you heard something like that?
It didn't bother me, to be honest with you, because I knew that we had the ability of these players and the great desire they had, and they were tough mentally. That was really important, because I think that the best examination of any Manchester United player is going out for the first time in front of 75,000 people and their temperaments judged. These kids sail through that kind of test. But going back the way when we started working on the youth, we were trialling, coaching, scouting better than anyone in England, without question. And it got to a point where we were turning away some really good young players because this group of players was so good. There was another two additions to that squad, Chris Casper and Ben Thornway, who get serious injuries and derailed their careers. They would have been part of that also.
Wow.
And they were just unlucky. But they were great because they wanted to be players. They practiced with Blazes every day, every afternoon. Even at night time, Beckham used to go into the gymnasium, into the School of Excellence, and they helped the coaches at night time with the school kids. These guys were going to make it through hell or high water because they had everything you needed for a young kid to play for Manchester United.
What's the most important quality for young players to have?
Well, I mean, if they've got the desire and they're prepared to sacrifice, I mean, anyone is successful in life, no matter whether it's managing a football club or playing a football club or running a big organisation, they sacrifice. Simple as that. My wife sacrificed for me to enjoy all my excesses in football, my obsession with the game. You understand? She recognised that. She was happy to look after the kids. And people have to sacrifice. They sacrificed, but they practiced also. They practiced well.
I often would say to friends when Manchester United was playing a big team, and I remember one game in particular, they were playing Inter Milan, and Inter Milan had Ibrahimovic and Zanetti and Cambiasso and all these wonderful players. And the Inter fan said to me, not me, I'm a Milan fan, as you know. The Inter fan said, look at all these great players. Look at the guys on Manchester United. It was Darren Fletcher, Ji-Sung Park. Very good players, but certainly not iconic players like an Ibrahimovic or a Zanetti, for example. And I know you had your share of those too with the Giggses and Scholes. But in that particular two-legged competition, you blew them away. I think it was 4-0 on aggregate or something when it was all said and done. How do you get the most out of these players? How do you get them to play even better than a typical fan would say? Oh, he's a decent player. How do you get them to play at that level?
Well, the thing about United was, first of all, there's a consistency of who the manager is. That longevity definitely works. And also through that, the training sessions were always of a high quality. Whatever happens in a training session happens on a Saturday. So the preparation for these players, no matter who they're playing against, was always good. Concentration, intensity, speed, all the time. So their background of to playing an important game was always as good as or better than most. And also they give them the confidence from myself and my coaches that they were good enough to play. And I mean, I could change a team every second week. You know, I would say to some players, you'll not be playing the next 3 games. You're playing the 4th game. And but Gary Neville spoke with us a few weeks ago. He would sit back and say to himself, well, why am I not playing the next 3 games? I'm good enough to play every game. But the game is Liverpool, say, or Arsenal. And I had the confidence and trust of them that I could do that, simply because with choosing the kind of games I needed to win, I would make changes. So all the players, no matter who they're playing against, had my confidence. They were picked for the right reasons.
You said a word there, trust. How important is trust between you and your players and them with each other?
Well, it's built really by longevity, I think, importantly. But I think when I came to the club at first, I think if you're going to a new organisation, you have to give your trust to everyone, and you hope you get it back. But longevity can do that. So over the years, time and time again, I would have players come to my office and ask for help on a personal level, knowing they could trust me. It would never go out the door. I would never even tell any of my staff. It was between me and the players. And I think that's an important part of your job. Although people say I was a strong disciplinarian, it was also done with compassion. You know, it was always done for their good and for the club's good. It was never done for any sort of a easy reason to discipline anyway. It wasn't done for petty things. It was done for real reasons, whether it was misbehaving away from the pitch or they get a bad sending off, a silly sending off. It was always done for the right reasons, so they knew that. But in terms of that, looking after players and helping them, there has got to be a compassion and also a willingness to do it. You know, I've played with some managers, you wouldn't dare go near their office door, you know.
There's a wonderful book that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. Alex Ferguson with Michael Moritz, called Leading, that really were part of this town hall, is to really expose the book and have people, you know, understand the secrets of Sir Alex Ferguson. And Sir Mike Moritz and Sir Alex Ferguson, 2 knights of the realm. I'm not.
Celtic Knights.
I'm not, of course. Okay, Celtic Knights. The book Leading, it's an incredible read. I've read it now twice, and it's just remarkable how he takes so much of what you've learned over the years and put it into a really a wonderful read and a wonderful book that has wonderful anecdotes and lessons, but really focuses on leadership and what it takes to be a leader. I have to say, after reading it twice, I feel like, boy, I've really fallen short in life. So, but how did you enjoy writing the book? Did you enjoy getting to know Mike Moritz and the, I guess, to really think back your career? It seems to me to be a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, that is. You need someone to prompt you and do that type of thing. And Sir Michael was great at that. But he approached me about 8 years ago in London, and through your friendship with Sir Michael, and but I was too absorbed in the job at United at that time, and I said no. But then when I retired, it surfaced again. We met in New York, and I thought it was a good idea then. And he was fantastic because he'd be flying across from San Francisco every second week, and that's a sacrifice too, and it's a commitment to doing it right, to make sure the job is done right. And I think he's done a fantastic. And I'll tell you, his epilogue is absolutely brilliant. You know, I think that's fantastic. So I've enjoyed doing it. A little bit difficult times. How would you to get for Sir Michael to get the balance in terms of the style of it, the style of me? You know, that's a difficult task. You know, but he's done it well.
No, and you come out in the book. Your personality comes out in the book, much like you talk about that your teams have your personality. What do you mean by that? What does a manager mean by that when he says that?
Well, I think the part of your job is to develop your character in the dressing room. Some have it, but I like to see part of myself in my teams. You know, that never giving in, a determination, work ethic. Every team talk I ever had finished with work ethic, excuse me, and concentration. Every team talk always ended with those things, because I think the best player, that if he doesn't have the work ethic, will not be the best player.
And what about the tough decisions you've made over time? I know when you brought in the class of '92, I was told a wonderful story that there's a box of letters at home that they saved, basically, for lack of a better word, hate mail from fans. When you sold Kanchelskis and Ince, and who else was it? I think in that
Mark Hughes.
And Mark Hughes. How do you deal with that? With the fans. You're the leader of the club. The people, your fans, want to hear what Manchester United's up to. You might not be the owner, but you're the leader.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these interesting things. At the beginning, I used to try and write back to everyone. But as the club grew in the winter time I was there, it was impossible.
Before email, right?
No. So what we used to do, my secretaries, she used to split it all, the ones that, you're not going to enjoy that letter. Be shoved there. One's one of these real lovely girls, and she gets really sad. She gets a sad letter and she's crying, and she's, you'll need to do something with this. And it's that kind of letter. These really letters from a kid that's maybe not well or something. That kind of. And she would compose a certain type of way of dealing with that kind of thing, because she's a mother. She knows how to deal with that kind of thing. And I would deal with the professional ones and write them personally. And so we divide into some compartments, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You just can't ignore it. But for letters, like some say, why don't you play Steve Bruce centre forward? So we used to get letters. When Steve Bruce scored 17 goals in one season, I used to get all these letters in. Why is he not centre forward? Mark Hughes hasn't scored 17 goals. So you get a standard letter for that. Your manager takes your points and is considering it very closely.
Well, it's a good thing you're not the manager for Real Madrid, because the president comes down and tells you those things.
I know, I believe so.
Have managers come to you and asked for advice?
Oh, yeah. Two this week.
Yeah.
But listen, I think...
every week, is it?
I think it would be remiss of me, the winter time I've been in the game, not to help other coaches. Very remiss of me. I think it'd be a feeling in duty, because I'm part of the League Managers Association. I think the kind of industry that football managers are in today is very, very difficult. And also, when I came to United, you think about 1986, it was all English chairmen. It's always English owners, not today. So you can understand the sort of the different mindset these people have, the owners of today. Completely different. So having to deal with that is very difficult. And it's a winning industry. It's a result industry. More so than it was in '86, no doubt about that. So the best thing a manager can do is to make sure he prepares properly to be a manager. He should take all his coaching badges. He should go to the business school in Warwick. That's a fantastic preparation to be a manager. If you're going to get into it, be serious about it. And the problem is a lot of players made their mind up when they're 34. And their manager one day, their player one day, manager the next day, without any preparation. And I'm really up. I'm against all that. They shouldn't get a manager's job unless they've got the coaching badges. That's my opinion. Because it's a serious industry.
Do you think it helps to be a player? You were a very good player. I know you believe that you were the best striker of all time, but I still think you were a very good player. Does it help to manage?
Of course it does. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it, but like Jose Mourinho, for instance, he was a linguist. He was a language interpreter, but he was exceptional. In normal circumstances, when I started at 32 years of age, the one thing I had was I'd played for Glasgow Rangers, I'd been a reasonable player, and in my coaching badges. So these important parts. When the players who, it's a small part-time team in Scotland, he's still in part-time football, there's only 12 players, they would look up to that. They knew that when I was speaking to him, I knew more than they did, you know. And I think it's important to be a player. I really do.
Do you have any regrets as a manager?
I don't think it worries me. You know, yes, you may make mistakes, of course you do, and you can look back and all the mistakes you made and regret, but it doesn't do any good. I think I had the ability always to look forward. The mistake with Jaap Stam, you know, I lived with it for quite a while actually. I regretted that for quite a while. But at the end of the day, it never stopped me from moving on as a manager. I still, you know you've made a mistake, go on with it. You know, you're not going to be killing yourself about it. I apologise to Jaap, you know. And he went on to have a great career, 6 years playing in 2 European finals.
Yeah, for AC Milan, I might add. Because in the book you don't mention they won 7. I just wanted to clear that up. We got to put that a little addendum in the book there.
7 what?
Yeah, okay, I know. I got it already. I have so much more to talk to you about, and we're going to have to take a break in a minute, but I do want to just touch on your retirement. And really, you know, how hard was it for you to retire? How hard was it, and what process did you go through to find a successor? And, you know, would you have done it? Are you happy now that you've retired?
Yeah. I think that...
You have to go to my house and eat.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the most important thing is most people don't choose the time to retire. They have to retire maybe at an age, you know, that... for instance, at United, I'm told just that change in retirement, that you had to retire at 65. And I had the chief scout, Mike Brown, had to retire at 65. I had a kit manager, Norman Davis, had to retire at 65. I chose my retirement. And I was 71. And that was all down to Kathy's sister dying. It changed the whole landscape for me. Because, as I said earlier, she sacrificed all her life for me and the boys. I think she was due it back. And when I told her at Christmas time, she was delighted, you know. And but the problem was keeping it quiet. Fortunately, not even my sons knew. No one knew apart from Kathy and I. And then I was just at the point of telling the Glazers, then David Gill announced to me that he was also retiring. So, but the process started. It was a good process. We did the right things, no doubt about that. And we give it to David Moyes because even at the time, people were saying, "Oh, this great choice, a British manager."
I remember being one of those people saying, "Fantastic choice. He's going to be," and I certainly wasn't alone. The vast majority of the press and people out there said, "Great choice."
Yeah, exactly. And he had 11 years at Everton.
Yeah,
he was an honest, hard-working man. I think he deserved his chance. What do we do?
Sir Alex Ferguson, you're listening to the Sirius XM FC Town Hall with me, Charlie Stillitano, and Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest football manager of all time. We're going to take your questions from the audience when we come back.
No one covers MLS like Summer Soccer Tonight.
Kai Kamara, he's passed Landon Donovan on the all-time goal-scoring list for Major League Soccer.
I remember in my earlier stage when I used to come back to LA for my off seasons, we'd all get together at the, we'll back then call Home Depot Center and work out. And when I can just work out next to him and, and that's Landon Donovan you're working out next to, that was the motivation.
Summer Soccer Tonight, every weeknight at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
The beats that move the culture. SiriusXM celebrates Black Music Month with Black Music Forever, a limited edition channel with hip-hop, R&B hits, and breaking music from Black artists.
I'll come and slap by 8 p.m.
Black Music Forever. Throughout the month in the SiriusXM app. SiriusXM.com/BMM for more info.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Up front tonight, the breaking news.
Stay informed and engaged with the stories that shape our world with the SiriusXM news channels.
Border Patrol and ICE have had to limit the...
From cable news to business.
And so the markets need to be prepared for that and the volatility and for that.
And international.
The strength of values. It's the strength of real freedom.
The SiriusXM news channels starting at channel 112 and on the SiriusXM app.
They look to me like an incredible threat at this competition.
Wake up with Tom Rennie on Summer Soccer Morning.
Pepe was great. Ruben Dias, one of the best defenders in European football. Bruno Fernandes, for me, is an incredible world-class player. The depth is there, isn't it? I mean, can they make Ronaldo work? That is the big question. If you can make it work, I think they can win this tournament. I really do.
Summer Soccer Morning, every weekday morning at 8 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157.
Tom Rennie here from SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 soccer station.
Where the insane becomes the normal and the expected.
Wake up with me, Ray Hudson and Charlie Stilitano on The Football Show. Weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Welcome back. You're listening to the SiriusXM FC Town Hall with me, Charlie Stilitano, and Sir Alex Ferguson. We've had a lot of fun so far. I have like 825 more questions, but these good people here, these good people here have come from all over the country.
Really?
And to really, they've fit their own bill here to get here. You got to give them a little, give them a little applause, right? You guys can clap for yourselves too if you like. And we have some questions. We're going to try to get through as many of these as we can. So if we don't get through enough of them, forgive me. But just before we start, what'd you think of that, hearing your voice back in 1986?
I know it was a bit weak.
Yeah. No, but you said something fantastic at the end. Once we get a relationship, things will be okay.
I can't remember that.
Yeah,
I must admit.
But it ties in beautifully with the you already had an idea of what you're going to do. You knew already what you were going to do when you showed up there.
Yeah, I said that. That strong conviction to build a football club. Yeah. And that was what we did.
All right, Sir Alex Ferguson, let's take some questions. James Caparuso.
Sir Alex, pleasure to meet you. And Charlie, nice to see you again.
Great seeing you.
Thank you. My question is, do you see the U.S. being ready to finally break out and becoming a passionate soccer nation?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm very positive about US soccer. I really am. I think there's big improvement. I think there's areas which I think that has to be addressed. It's a big country. So whereas in England or Scotland or anywhere in Europe, you can jump in, a supporter can jump in a plane and be there at Berlin, Paris within an hour. So fans can travel. But it's difficult in America for someone to go from New York to LA to watch his team. So that is a bit of a problem. Possibly, they don't have a pyramid system in America, whereas in England, you could start playing for Glenbuck cherry pickers in some unknown league away in the middle of Torquay area or something like that, and end up in the Premier Division because the pyramid can take you there. And in America, don't have that, But that's young. They're young. The good points about the United MLS at the moment, academies have started. Kansas have a very good academy and a good stadium, and the stadiums are great. The one thing I've always admired about American people, they have a determination about them. They put their mind to things they can get there. They have a determination. All the teams, I watch the games a lot. They've all got the good determination, good fitness, good athleticism. So there's a lot of plus points. What young kids are playing it now, because I don't think it's a lot of parents maybe worry about their kids playing American football, you know, because injuries and concussions and things like that. So I'm pretty positive about it. I really am. Years ago, the only Americans that were doing well coming out of America, going to Europe and to England in particular, were goalkeepers. Plenty of goalkeepers, you know. And that may change, you know.
All right, thanks. Pete Chimizak, how do you say it?
Chamizak, yeah.
Chamizak.
Good afternoon, Sir Alex. What type of player do you look for in the number 10 position?
Oh, crikey, that's a good one. You know, I used to, we had scouts in South America, and I used to get videos and letters, and I've got perfect number 10 for you. That description is this player that plays in the hole, the number 10, right? And particularly we watched Silva a lot when he was at Valencia. And the other player that had the same tips years before it played that number 10. My problem with that was you have to be very, very good to play that position, because there's no defensive duties for them, you know. So if you want to be really successful, everyone has to do their turn, has to work, you know. So I had a difficulty with that. But then, of course, there's the greats. You know, you could say Messi was of a number 10 type, Maradona, some fantastic players, and I don't dispute that. But United always found it difficult to. The kind of number 10 I used, this was my experience as a footballer, when I started to lose my pace a bit up front, I started to drop into the hole in a different way that the number 10s that you're talking about are. And I realised then the defenders found it difficult with coping with it. So all my teams had one strike and one playing off, not in the hole, but playing off the front. You know, I've always done it.
All right, Paul O'Brien. Paul.
Thrilled to speak to you, Sir Alex. After the ban was lifted allowing the English teams to re-enter European competition, how difficult was it to change the style and the mindset of the British players in order to succeed in Europe?
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I knew at Aberdeen, because we'd been in Europe all the time there, was it's a different preparation in Europe. And the key point about playing in Europe, and we realised is, my first year at Aberdeen, we played Dusseldorf, a German team, and we lost in the away goal or something like that. But possessing the ball, honestly, chasing the ball for minutes at a time, and I realised, we all realised that keeping the ball in Europe was paramount. The next year we got Eintracht Frankfurt, at the time they had Holzenbein and Garbowski and all these players, and they battered us. We just couldn't get the ball off them. So that became the mantra at your club at Aberdeen: keep the ball, keep the ball. Because when you don't have it, you don't get it back for a few minutes. So coming to United, when we got into Europe, we won the Cup Winners' Cup the first year, and that was really down to us making sure we kept the ball properly. And that is a really important lesson. The other thing that we realised about, and still to this day, there is a better preparation by the European teams, because in England it's tribalism. You have to win your league in England. So if you're playing even Southampton, you've got a European tie in the next bit, you have to win that game against Southampton, because you've got Liverpool and you've got City, you've got Yorkshire, Leeds United, and you've got the Newcastle and the Geordie, you've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, London, you've got Aston Villa. It's tribalism, and the need to win that league is so important. And my opinion is, I wish I could forget that, because to me the most important thing is the Champions League. I really do. But they get help. The Champions League, all the countries help their teams in Europe. They do. And so their preparation is better than ours. It really is. At the moment, it's a bit of a cycle. It's going against us. The English teams are getting a bit of criticism. But 8 years ago, with 3 English teams in the semi-final. So I think it's cyclical, that. I think it will change.
I want to know what you told your team at halftime when you played Bayern Munich and you were down 1-0 in 1999.
Well, I don't remember all my team talks, but I know what the gist of them was. But what the players always talk about that's what happened. And we're down 1-0, and you've only 8 minutes or so to find a solution to why you're losing a game, and find the solution to improve it, to make sure you recover from it. But after that, I went my physios, go look at players and maybe do a bit of video analysis for the players and things like that. And I'm standing and thinking to myself, what can I say is going to really motivate them? And it came back to 1986. I went to Barcelona and Steaua Bucharest final, and Steve Archibald was playing, and he'd been out for 6 months. And I was about to be picking my team for Scotland for the World Cup in Mexico. And they said to me, you know something, and they lost, Barcelona lost. I don't think they missed all the penalties, didn't they?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he said, you know something, boss? He says, you can't touch a cup. You're walking by that cup and you can't touch it. And the spark came into my mind, and I stopped Spike as he was going out the door with the team, and I said, hey, listen, by the way, if you don't win this cup, you walk by it and you have to clap, applaud the other team lifting it. Just remember that.
Nice.
Inspired moment.
Nice.
That's all.
Yeah, I'd say so. Christian Urena.
Afternoon, Sir Alex. So much of effective leadership comes from speaking from a position of earned credibility. When you made a game time decision that didn't pan out, how do you maintain that credibility?
You mean suffering a defeat? I'm better when I was. Seriously, I was always better when I was. I had a determination, and then my players developed all that too. That losing meant something, you know, because Manchester United is a high expectation, and the need to win is always paramount. But we always used to say, when we lose, we're front page. When we win, we're back page.
Dale Shomystra.
Hi, Sir Alex. Charlie. In your opinion, what's the main difference in the game between 30 years ago and today?
Good one. The most obvious one, the conditions of the pitches are fantastic. With billiard tables now. When I played, by October, November, there was this big long furrow right up the middle of the pitch, just brown, you know. And then when you got to March, when the pitches were firming up, and they were bouncing all over the place. Now you see the pitches fantastic. United won the pitch of the year last year because they've got fantastic groundsmen. Little Tony, he works his socks off. He's there, you know. He's been bringing up his daughter for 15, 16 years, drops her off to school, makes her breakfast. He's into the ground. He's there till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, goes and picks his daughter up at school, takes her home, and neighbour makes a tea, comes back to the pitch. He's there till 8 o'clock at night. He's fantastic. And Arsenal's ground, it's fantastic. So that's the big change. The other change, the fitness process, we have sports science. If you go back to my time when I first started as a manager, I'm not apologising for it, we used to run the socks off them. Pre-season, up and down the golf courses, hills, the lot. And then we used to do, once we got to, we used to do 10 days of fitness training, right? And then the final few days, we used to do, at the end of a training session, 4 1800s and 4 600s, 4 800s. I'll tell you, you found out the week from the But today, the most they'll do is 200 metres. The most they do is 200 metres. Trust me.
What was the proudest moment for you as a football manager?
Well, 26 years was pretty proud of that. You know, surviving. But in the particular game is Barcelona. Obviously, I mean, it was fantastic. It's unbelievable. Because that was always...
Tell me the truth. Did you think you were going to lose in the 89th minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, but the thing about it is, that was always the thing that was hanging over my head, and not win the Champions League. You see? And when it came to the last 3 minutes, right, and I looked up at the board and I started to think what I'm going to say to my players. And what I was going to say to them, I'm really proud of you, you've done fantastic. And of course, it was changed. And no one will ever forget that cup final. That's the most dramatic cup final in history.
Without question. But when you scored equalized, you knew you were going to win, I'm sure.
Yes. Steve McLaren says, we'll go back to 4-4-2 in extra time. As a Steve, it won't get to extra time. The game's over.
Oh, man. That is that. Okay. Yeah, that does it for me. I got goosebumps now. That did it for me.
They were gone.
That did it for me. All right. We'd like to thank a number of people who made today's event possible. You're listening to the Sirius XM FC Town Hall with Sir Alex Ferguson. Go out and get his book, Alex Ferguson, with Michael Moritz leading. One of the best reads you will ever come across that mixes sports and business. It's really a remarkable book. A special thanks to Jason Ferguson and Martin O'Connor, who really are the guys behind the scenes, your son Jason and Martin. And to be serious for a second, the hard work that they do makes all our lives easier, doesn't it?
Makes yours anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. From Sirius XM, Steve Cohen, Brian Hamilton, Jared Fox, Andrew Fitzpatrick, the executive producer of Sirius XM FC, Joe Tollison, and the Sirius XM staff, Pete Corey, Tim Horsey, Andy Snikovsky, Jessica Abtai, Daniel Baker, Martin Hernandez, James Mallon.
Is this going with wins?
And I'm Charlie Stultano. Once again, Sir Alex Ferguson.
You've been listening to the SiriusXM FC Town Hall featuring legendary Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson. Hear the show again at SiriusXM.com/on-demand or on your smartphone on the SiriusXM app.
We shouldn't be sad that he's leaving. We should feel blessed that he ever came here in the first place. This is SiriusXM FC 150.
Who is their normal starting goalkeeper? He's injured today, and so it's a big day for Arias. They go with 4 across the back. Echeverria and Nunez in the midfield. Marcelino Nunez, one of those changes that Gareca makes, looking for some more defensive solidity there. Davila, Sanchez, and Osorio, those 3 attackers, and then fronted by Eduardo Vargas, another guy with massive experience, over 100 appearances for La Roja. He and Sanchez have scored so many goals for this team over the last 10 to 15 years, and this is probably their last ride together. They hope it doesn't end today. Well, the countdown's already completed. Both teams are still in their pregame huddles. So we're not quite ready to kick off yet. Look for Chile to press really aggressively. That is something Ricardo Gareca insists on. His teams will try to create turnovers high up the field, especially in a game that they have to win like today. If Canada can play through and around that press, they could have fast break opportunities in the other direction because they have a lot of speed and excitement up top. And it is Canada wearing the white with the red trim today to get us underway. And there is the opening whistle, and we are in motion in Orlando. Canada could create one of their biggest nights in men's program history. They'd likely advance to the Copa America quarterfinals with a draw. Chile have to win to extend the last stand of their golden generation. Long ball from Alistair Johnston right away. Charging out. First action for Gabriel Arias. Hasn't played much in goal for Chile. Has to be good for them tonight. And his first decision was a good one there. There is Kyle Larin. Scored the first ever goal in this stadium's history when it opened in 2017 when he was playing for Orlando City. Another early throw for Canada. This stadium is bouncing. This is a very MLS-heavy lineup for Canada. Alistair Johnston, former Nashville and CF Montreal player, now plays for Celtic in Scotland. Toward the near post. Taken away by Chile. They have a man down in the penalty box. Play stopped. There's Jesse Marsh. Just took over about a month ago for Canada. Been quite a start for him. Immediately thrown into the fire with high-profile friendlies against the Netherlands and France, and then facing Argentina in their Copa America opener. And Sergio Santin is on the bench for Chile today. Ricardo Gareca is absent, and we've not been told why. So it is Santin who is directing things. You see the potential injury, possible head contact there. That's why the game was stopped. It is Rodrigo Echeverria who's down. So again, Chile already made a change to their center back pairing. Their two central defenders tonight. They didn't start Paulo Diaz, who is normally a dead certain starter in the middle of the defense for them. They brought in Guillermo Maripan. Now one of their defensive midfielders has an early issue. And already missing their starting goalkeeper. Not ideal. From the drop ball, Canada get the restart. Still on the attack with Johnston. Tries to loop it back post. Chile do enough. Good start for Canada, though. Cornelius. Luis Bombito. Laren with the flick. Jonathan David scored their winner against Peru. Edge of the box. Richie Larea had it tackled away. But it's the first corner of the match for Canada. Even though they're outnumbered tonight, you can hear the Canada fans making noise as Alphonso Davies goes over to take this. Best talent Canada's ever produced. Plays for Bayern Munich in Germany. In low. Thumped back out. Another corner. Early pressure from Canada. Even though Chile are the ones who theoretically have to go for it today. Another player down in the box for Chile. I think that's Echeverria again. Let's see what might have happened. Ooh. Well, Canada could have an issue there. If VAR take a look at that. Well, check has been complete. Apparently VAR seeing nothing wrong. Corner kick swung in. Headed away at the near post. Not quite cleared. Tracked by Schaffelberg. Davies couldn't take it in. Now it's a foot race. Larea winning that. Pressure from Vargas. And the foul called. Free kick Canada. Just a little taste of that press, though, that Chile like, but a good ball down the right, releasing Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg has just one in the box. That's Laren. Laren tried the back heel flick to Schaffelberg, and now commits the foul. No score early here, no score early between Argentina and Peru. Here's the live table as things currently stand. You see Canada would finish in second and go through. Remember, the top two finishers advance out of each group to the quarterfinal knockout rounds. Argentina playing down the road in Miami against Peru. They are massive favorites in that game. If Peru were to somehow win that game, never impossible, that would really shake things up. And then it would depend on how many goals Peru won by, because goal differential is the primary tiebreaker. This is a throw for Chile. First time they've advanced into Canada's half. Gabriel Suazo. Free kick. Well, advantage played by the referee, who now pulls things back and blows the whistle. He waited for a moment to see if Chile wanted to keep going. Davila fouled by Luis Bombito. Bombito's had a fast rise broken out for Colorado Rapids in Major League Soccer over the last year. Found himself matching up with Lionel Messi in the opener last week, and he goes into the book early. Wow. Never ideal when one of your center backs draws a yellow card inside the first 7 minutes. You have to be so careful the rest of the game when you're playing on a yellow, and teams usually hate to change out center backs unless they have to. That middle of the defensive line so important. Those guys usually play all 90 minutes unless they're forced to do otherwise. Chile haven't scored in their first 2 games here at Copa America. They haven't been held scoreless at a Copa America since 1917. And they've participated in almost all of them. Ground out that draw against Peru in their opener. Didn't give up a goal until the 88th minute against Argentina. Lost that game 1-0 despite a good effort. Have to find goals at some point today. We're content to be patient early in this game. Jesse Marsch, generally a coach who likes to press too. You see Canada being strategic about when they press here. That's a big part of his system. When do you decide to step up? When do you hang back? Here they're stepping up with Laren, who rides one challenge and spreads it wide to Larea. Larea into the box, forced out wide. And it rolls across that end line. It will be a corner for Canada. They're third already. There is Ricardo Gareca upstairs for this one. And apparently not pleased. Chile had a really bad last year before Gareca took over. They've looked a lot better under him. And here's Stefan Eustachio to take this out swinging corner toward that backside. Larea on the second ball, lifts it back in behind the defense. One block from Chile, second ball still there. Chested down by Osorio. And steered calmly back to Gabriel Arias. This is a throw for Chile. Canada thought they should have had a free kick. And a quick throw taken and lifted into the area where Alexis Sanchez is lurking. And falls to Suazo. Suazo. And now Sanchez deflected out. And this will be a throw. 10 minutes in at a feverish Orlando, Florida. Maripan stepped around Laren. Victor Davila plays his club soccer in Russia. Most of these Chilean players play in the domestic Chilean league. Players like Alexis Sanchez, of course, have played for high-profile clubs like Arsenal and currently Inter Milan. It was a tremendous last decade for Chile, winning this Copa America twice, going deep in the World Cup once, qualifying multiple times, which is not a given for Chile. They've been down the last couple years. They've not been able to replace some of those aging stars, and this is a foul, and this is going to be the first booking for Chile. Suazo draws the yellow card in the 12th minute. That's his second yellow of the group stage. That means if Chile were to advance to the knockouts, he'd be suspended for that quarterfinal. We'll worry about that later, of course, if they get there. Gabriel Suazo, regarded as a really good attacking left-sided defender. Loves to get forward and charge at people. He's not necessarily the best defending one-on-one. That's one of the vulnerabilities that Chile have had in recent years. We've seen Canada try to attack him on the dribble early on. Let's see if they keep doing that. Chile onto this second ball. Flicked back by Vargas. Canada with 2 white shirts around. Foul called. Free kick for the Canadians. Settle down, says referee Wilmar Roldan to Richie Larea. Kyle Larin is Canada's all-time leading scorer, only by a couple now over Jonathan David. After David scored against Peru. Long ball down the left. Will this hang up on this grass surface? No. Goal kick Chile. Schaffelberg was the target. We'd seen Schaffelberg on the right side in the early minutes. Now he's back to his usual left. So see Inter and Co Stadium from above. Beautiful venue here in Central Florida. It's a rainy, stormy afternoon. Still some storms in the area. Supposed to clear out in the next hour. Chile have a throw in front of Jesse Marsh. Maripan. Sanchez drifting out to this near touchline. He'll drift all over the field, Alexis Sanchez. He's a forward, but he likes to come back and grab the ball wherever he can. Tough battle for that ball. Larea had it deflected wide. This is going to be kept in play by Chile, and it is Alexis. Safe option is Echeverria. Every positive touch for Chile being cheered by this crowd. Alexis Sanchez switching the ball to that far side. Dario Osorio. It's a dangerous left foot. If he can get within range, he'll shoot from distance. And he's danced past one here, and his crossover hit. Good initial dribble. Ball in, not quite. 15 minutes gone. 0-0. As long as Peru don't beat Argentina, probably by multiple goals, Canada just need a draw from this game to advance. This is their first ever Copa America participation. Had their first ever win in this tournament, last time out against Peru. It would be an enormous moment for them if they could get to the quarterfinals. And they're having to defend here into the box. There's the first action for Maxime Crépeau. He's had a terrific first 2 games between the sticks for Canada. As there is Claudio Bravo, the normal starting goalkeeper for Chile, 41 years old. Big part of why they won those 2 Copa Americas in the middle of the last decade. Saved big penalties in the winning penalty shootouts in both of those finals. But not available today with a knee injury. Just made a ton of great saves against Argentina in their last game. Denied Lionel Messi multiple times, but couldn't go today. Canada would love to test Gabriel Arias more. Maybe they will here with Larea. And he wins a corner. Gabriel Arias plays his club soccer in Argentina for Racing Club. He was the starter in Copa America back in 2019. He had a poor tournament. He's not been the starter ever since. This is a huge chance for him today. Fourth corner already for Canada. In front of what's now a beautiful sunset in Orlando. Eustachio. Back post. Arias a long way out. Got a punch. Schaffelberg cuts to the end line. Hangs it up into the middle and looped and tipped over the bar. First save for Arias. Alistair Johnston got his head to it. Another corner for Canada. It was actually Laren in front of Johnston who put it on frame. Arias wasn't going to take any chances. Canada varying their deliveries here from these corners. This one deeper to the back post, but too long. And then trying to volley it clear and hitting Schaffelberg. It was Marcelino Nunez. Referee plays on, now stops play for the possible head contact. Well, let's see this again. Nunez not looking at Schaffelberg. You can be penalized for dangerous play. He's certainly going for the ball, trying to clear it. That is a really high foot. He definitely caught Johnston, or Schaffelberg that is. It was just outside the penalty area, so it wouldn't be a penalty. That means VAR would only review that for a possible red card infraction. You can see the Canada player is talking to Wilmar Roldan, the referee, and looks like he's shaking his head. And the Canada fans are here, outnumbered, but loud. Now Schaffelberg asking Wilmar Roldan about that kick from Nunez. Chile went a long time without winning anything at the international level. There's 2 Copa Americas they won last decade. Were their first 2 major trophies in 100 years of existence. It meant so much to that nation. Again, several of those players from that golden generation still playing with this team. This is regarded as their last dance, and it would end today unless they can win. That's not a good ball from Canada's Moise Bombito, and allows Chile to get down the left side. Alexis Sanchez looks for the free kick. Alistair Johnston bungled him over. Referee says that was fine. Chile win it back. Wriggling free Nunez. And way overhit looking for Sanchez. Sanchez wanted it short instead. This was the contact between Johnston and Sanchez a moment ago. So over 20 minutes played. Status quo so far. No score here, no score between Argentina and Peru. So as things stand, Canada would still be going through to the quarterfinals. But here comes Chile. Good ball down the left. Suazo has space. Pings in a low cross, chested down, volley wide. First chance for Chile. Victor Davila not far away. Started with a great battle won in the midfield by Davila. And then he played it out wide and continued into the box. Watch him hang back and wait for that space and wait for that ball. It's really good play from Chile. They're having their best spell of the match so far. Trying to thread it through for Vargas was Nunez. Now on the counter, it's Schaffelberg touching it around one. And then dispossessed as Isla tracked back. Schaffelberg wanted a foul. Jacob Schaffelberg, a huge underdog story. They call him the Maritime Messi. He's from Nova Scotia. He's the first Nova Scotian to ever play for the Canadian national team. It's an area that's produced tons of hockey players, but had never produced a high-level soccer player before Jacob Schaffelberg. Currently plays for Nashville SC in Major League Soccer. He's made a big difference off the bench for Canada in their first 2 games, including that game-winning assist against Peru, given the start today by Jesse Marsh. Sanchez wins that header. Second ball flicked on, and now the strike is wide. Davila again. That's 2 chances on the half volley for him. A quarter of the way through this game. 0-0, but Chile threatening now. That time Davila pulling it way wide. Osorio tripped. He wanted the foul, but that left Davila alone to take that shot. Canada a little fortunate he didn't catch that better. Oh, a nutmeg from Jonathan, or Alphonso Davies, that is. Then he had it taken away. Canada looked to build back with David, who slides it through to Larin. Kyle Larin. First look for him today. Larin's had a really difficult last year in his club soccer, playing in Spain with Mallorca. He missed a ton of chances there this season, only scored 3 goals all year long. The guy who scored so many big goals for Canada. And Jesse Marsh said this week that even when he's not scoring, he's such a good defender. He tracks back and helps win balls back deep down the pitch. That's why he's always in there, even when he's cold. And again, coming back to a place where he's very familiar and very loved. Scored over 40 goals for Orlando City over a few seasons here. They're hoping that'll spark him back to life today. Here he is now, trying to turn and thread it through. And the referee has stopped play. Didn't see him point for a foul. There are 2 players down. Suazo, the man for Chile. So Richie Larea immediately gesturing for him to get up. How can you not love international soccer? This is great. Amazing atmosphere. 20 minutes to go in the first half. Still no score between Argentina and Peru. Peru would have to upset Argentina to have any chance of advancing. Otherwise, it comes down to this game between these two. Well done by Canada to win that back, and they try to spring Larea. And Larea's in a foot race with Suazo, and he'll win that. And then he's tripped. He thinks so anyway. He wants a card as well. It is going to be a free kick. I think that will be all. And now the card has been shown. And that is the second yellow, and that is a red card for Gabriel Suazo. He was booked earlier, and now he's off. And Chile down to 10, just over midway through the first half. Huge blow to them in a game they have to win. And head coach Ricardo Gareca can only look on. So Suazo has to make the walk. And Chile will have to find a way down a man. Second straight game where Canada's opponents have taken a red card. Peru took one in the 60th minute in their last game. Canada eventually made the extra man pay off with that winning goal. Chile's players still arguing with Wilmar Roldan. Even though Roldan refereed their Cup final win back in 2015, Chile have not always cared for his officiating, and that's true for any official, of course. You can't please everyone. The Chilean Federation actually made a formal complaint after a Copa America game 3 years ago in the last edition of this tournament, where Chile thought they should have had a clear penalty, at least in their opinion. And Roldan, a massively experienced official at the international level. Well, Gabriel Arias is already going to be a challenging day for him, even more so now with his team down a player. Interesting situation for Canada to manage, too. They said coming in they were going to go for the win today, of course. They weren't just going to sit back and play for the draw. Free kick taken by Eustachio, stepped over then and struck off the defender out for a corner by Alphonso Davies. Not his best free kick. Canada will try to turn up the pressure now. 11 against 10. Davies has been pretty quiet at this tournament so far. And Canada's most talented player. I'd love for him to have a signature moment today. Delivery here. Top of the area, Eustachio called for the foul. Now remember, for Canada, Moise Bombito is on a yellow card, so you can bet that Chile will be targeting him, trying to draw that second yellow to even things up as much as they can. And Chile are going to make a change here to reshuffle things now that they're down to 10. And it's Thomas Galdames who comes on. Dario Osorio is sacrificed. This is very much a defensive change. Osorio is an attacking winger. He's really exciting in that attacking half. And after they just lost a defender to that red card, Chile feeling they have to shore things up before they can think about trying to score goals. 30 minutes in, 15 to go until half. Can Chile stabilize themselves now after that red card? Alexis Sanchez is going to have to be a focal point. He's going to play mostly by himself up top, you'd suspect. He has to be able to make the ball stick and let his teammates have time to join in when that ball goes forward. It's always a tough ask when you're down to 10, but that's what they'll ask of him. Bombito. Johnston. Thread it between the lines. Lorea. The layoff from Jonathan David wasn't precise. Canada surrounding the ball, trying to hunt in packs. And they win a throw in the deep attacking half. That's what Canada want to do. Have those triggers, those moments where they've practiced when the ball's in a certain area with certain opposing players. Press. Put the pressure on, try to create those turnovers. Derek Cornelius. Wide for Davies. Centrally for Eustachio. Trying to chip it into Jonathan David's path. Now Schaffelberg after it. It's clipped out. Which side of the flag? Schaffelberg wants a corner. It's just a throw. Larea, one-on-one. Now faced by two defenders. Jonathan David. Johnston. Osorio. 75th appearance today for Canada. Jesse Marsh put him in the lineup today because he adds experience, adds calm, usually very secure defensively. Here goes Alphonso Davies, beating one, looping it into the area. Back post for Larea. And just overshot. Arias pressured. A little help from his teammate. It was Lichnowsky who shielded the Canadian attacker away from his goalkeeper. Now Chile look for the counter, and it goes over the top for Vargas, so we'll leave it instead for Galdames. Just on a couple minutes ago, skids in across that took a deflection, shouts for a handball. See Galdames saying it came off the defender's arm. Referee not interested. Chile fans, you hear what they think. Laid off by Laren. Eustachio spreads to Davies. Davies to the edge of the area. Back for Schaffelberg. On for Eustachio. Toward the 6-yard box. Headed away by Galdames. Still not clear. Now Galdames thuds it away. This is more the kind of pressure you'd expect from Canada, though, 11 against 10. Again, it's an interesting situation for them because probably only needing a draw today. They don't want to overcommit in the attack and get exposed on the counter. They also don't want to sit back and just sit on that draw either. See the fouls, 5-3 in Chile's favor, and the 2 on Gabriel Suazo, the most important. Into the final 10 minutes of the first half. Still no goals in Miami either between Argentina and Peru. Still just a tie required by Canada so far to advance. See Wilmar Roldan holding his palms out saying there's nothing there. Most of Inter and Co Stadium and Mauricio Isla disagreed. Space for Davies. Ball forward, too heavy, but the idea was there, applauded by Kyle Laren, who is the target. Alphonso Davies has won a Champions League with Bayern Munich. They're the biggest club in Germany, one of the biggest in all of Europe. And Sanchez tussled for that loose ball. Now it's Vargas. Eduardo Vargas doesn't have a lot of help. Looking for the free kick. Gets one. That's exactly what Chile want. When you're playing down a man, you're not going to have many chances in open play. And you want to win those attacking free kicks and corners and set pieces anytime you're able to. That's often where you're going to have the best chance of scoring in a situation like this. And for Canada, those are not fouls you want or need to be giving away. Especially when the attacker's back is to goal. That's a bad foul by Eustachio. And now Maxime Crépeau has to set up his wall to defend it. He's gone with just the two-man wall. This is a free kick that's out from that 18-yard box just a bit. Nunez and Davila around it for Chile. It's Nunez on goal. Crépeau dropped it. Had time to regather. Tries to release Davies, who accelerates now and clips it over the top. Jonathan David after it. Goalkeeper off his line, toward the net and wide. And cleared across the end line for a Canada corner. Best chance so far for Jonathan David. He got cleaned out. Canada protesting. Still scoreless late in this first half. Temperature ratcheting up. Look at this run from Davies and the ball over the top. Really good. Left the goalkeeper stranded. Is that a foul? Will VAR take another look at that? That's definitely inside the penalty box. That would be a penalty if they decide that's a foul. Gabriel Arias came charging off his line. Didn't get anywhere near the ball. Did appear to make contact with Jonathan David. Is that enough for a foul? Is it enough for a penalty? David's still down. That was the second yellow card. I should say that was the first yellow card on Gabriel Suazo early in this game. That was the second as he took down Lorea. It's not smart when you're already on a card. And Ricardo Gareca, he knows. Chile's road to the quarterfinal. More uphill now. We've not gotten official word on whether VAR is checking for a potential penalty on that last play. They check everything, of course. But it looks like it's just going to be a corner for Canada. They may feel that because Jonathan David had already taken the shot, he'd already chipped that ball past the keeper, and it had gone wide. Maybe they feel that negated the possible contact. We're into the last 5 of the first half. At Inter & Co Stadium in Orlando. It has been given as a goal kick. I thought the Chilean player had cleared it across the end line, but it might have gone across the line before he did. Chile onto this second ball with Vargas. Now Vargas leaves it for Davila. Sanchez tried to backheel flick it to himself, couldn't do it. Tackled off of Jonathan David. Davila toward that end line. Davila around the corner, wants to serve in the cross. Canada claiming it went out of play. Still in play though, and they have to clear it. And then given away, and Canada might be able to break. Larin protecting it. Larin trying to accelerate away. Jonathan David now has options in the box. Clipped in front, Schaffelberg, it was punched away. Eustachio down. Eustachio saved by Arias. Big chance, big save. Big moment for the stand-in goalkeeper for Chile, and they go the other way. And they have a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card. That's Alphonso Davies, who's been booked. This is incredible. Canada now have 2 players on yellow cards. Here goes Schaffelberg. Look at that strength. Trying to win a free kick. And now gets it. Humid night in Central Florida. You can see it on players' faces. Although they just came from Kansas City, Canada at least, where an assistant referee fainted in the middle of that game. So this will feel light by comparison. Here comes the free kick. Stepped over by Davies. Eustachio faked to play it short. Now backs up. Crowd doesn't like that. Now he clips it in and completely overhits it. And that's a waste for Canada. There's that play a moment ago with David. It's a good punch initially from Arias, and then he has to keep charging to close down Eustachio. Asking for handball there, and now it's given. This is a free kick for Chile as Jonathan David continued his run, but the play's been stopped. No fans asking for a yellow as Kyle Larin tossed the ball away. Some referees would show a card for time wasting. That's certainly what Chile want. They don't get it in this case. It's taken back by Osorio. Here's David. Out wide, Larea into the middle, stabbed away. Larea settles for the throw. In the final minute of the 45, we'll see how much stoppage time we'll have at the end of this first half in just a handful of seconds. No goals here, no goals in Miami between Argentina and Peru. They're almost at halftime as well. Canada still going through as things currently stand. Down for Johnston. Gets the return. And his centering ball chested extremely calmly back to his goalkeeper by Mauricio Isla. That's about as cool as it gets under pressure. 4 additional minutes to be played at the end of this first half. Canada, since going up a man, have had a couple chances. Chile have looked dangerous on the counter. That's an unforced error out of the back from Bombito. Gives Chile a throw, and he hears about it from the Chilean fans. And Luis Bombito, the youngest member of this back line for Canada, on a yellow card. Might be something for Jesse Marsh to think about at halftime. Bombito, very talented player. He's going to be a key member of this Canada squad, they suspect, for a long time. Couple shaky moments in this first half. Challenging for this ball, wins it eventually to Johnston. Canada throw. About 2.5 to play in the first half. Referee says get up. Canada go on. Alphonso Davies. Schaffelberg wants it wide. Schaffelberg gets it now. Schaffelberg's low cross. Arias smothers. I think Schaffelberg wanted that a little earlier. Larin Looked like he was offside when Schaffelberg released that. Canada got themselves in a little trouble and concede the throw. Saw a shot of Eduardo Vargas a second ago, number 11 for Chile. Not a lot of chances for him to have shots on goal in this first half, especially since Chile went down to 10. It's the kind of day where your team has to win. Again, Chile know they have to win this game, whatever else happens. You're not going to get many chances when you're playing a man down. So when you get one, you have to stick it away. That'll be the job for Vargas, Alexis Sanchez, Victor Davila, whoever it falls to. Last minute of first half stoppage. Davies motors away. Shows that speed he has. Lifts it into the middle just over Larea. Chile will be content to get to halftime here and reset. Re-strategize on how they want to attack this second half. Collision there between Schaffelberg and Igor Lichnowsky, and now play is stopped. The foul called against Schaffelberg. Jesse Marsh very annoyed. Jesse Marsh from the United States, of course. Former United States men's national team assistant coach. Played 14 years in Major League Soccer. Now coaching Canada. Still new in the job. As referee Wilmar Roldan picks up the ball and blows the halftime whistle. That's the end of the opening 45 here in Orlando, Florida. Status quo as we began. Argentina and Peru, 0-0. Canada and Chile without a goal.
The show-stopping BMW i4 is electricity in its most powerful form. A perfect fusion of iconic handling and cutting-edge sophistication. An impressive range and the power of over 500 horses stampeding at a whisper. It's 100% electric and 100% BMW. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine. Release the 2024 BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $449 per month.
Remember me, I'm the one who had to
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with Cricket, my bill is consistent, and I have unlimited data, so I can do what I love.
Unlimited data for unlimited cuteness. Smile, you're on Cricket.
At Domino's, we've heard in focus groups that some people don't love our classic crust.
Too doughy.
It's not thin enough.
So here's another pizza.
All the ingredients come together.
And so what if I told you this was Domino's?
Good for Domino's, for real.
Introducing Domino's New York style pizza. Try it tonight.
When it's for the flag, something inside of you ignites. You may feel like you've given everything, but you can always bring more. You bring the heat to CONMEBOL Copa America 2024. Degree brings the 72-hour nonstop protection.
I've wanted an eternity with you from the second I met you.
The Summer of Stars continues tomorrow with live coverage of the Euros and Copa America on Fox.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
I just hurt my neck because I fell out of my chair because my boss just told me that our new starter pack just dropped. A solid stick of deodorant in the scent of your choice. A cream tube of deodorant in the scent of your choice. Plus 2 free items, plus free shipping.
Print, come on, print. Out of ink again. I need to print my homework.
You're still printing with these? Don't get cartridged. Switch to the cartridge-free Epson EcoTank. No more spending big bucks on tiny, expensive cartridges.
EcoTank comes with up to 2 years of ink. That's enough to print up to 5,000 pages. Switch to EcoTank and save up to $100. Visit EpsonEcoTank.com today to switch and save.
Just fill it, Joe!
The Copa America 2024 halftime show on Fox is presented by BMW.
The United States getting ready for Monday's game against Uruguay as they try to book a spot in the quarterfinals. Marjeni Taft embedded with the U.S. team, and here she is with more on Tim Weah and goalkeeper Matt Turner's status.
The big news today was that Tim Weah has now been suspended 2 games following his red card against Panama, and CONMEBOL told U.S. Soccer that this decision was not up for appeal. I caught up with Weah this morning before this news had come out, and as expected, he was very disappointed in what happened. He feels that he let his brothers down, but was very clear with me that he remains extremely focused, trying to help his guys prepare for a huge challenge against Uruguay on Monday. Also important to point out that Matt Turner told me he did join training today late. It wasn't that he was hitting those top corners, but he got what he needed out of the session. He remains day-to-day and has been very clear with me. He is doing everything he can to be available on Monday.
Jenny, thank you. Tomorrow at the Copa, simultaneous games in Group B. Venezuela, they have already advanced. Jamaica eliminated, so Mexico and Ecuador fighting for that other spot from the group. The round of 16 started at the Euros today. The host nation Germany against Denmark. Jamal Musiala. Goal there in the 68th minute. Germany moves on. Denmark eliminated. Meanwhile, Ruben Vargas gave Switzerland their second goal just 27 seconds into the second half. Switzerland also with a 2-0 win. They eliminate the defending champs, Italy. And the round of 16 continues tomorrow. 3-time champs Spain taking on Georgia. And Jude Bellingham and England meet Slovakia. Our focus right now, though, the conclusion of Group A at the Copa America. Argentina already through. Peru, Canada, Chile all trying to advance. Second halves from Miami and Orlando still to come.
If your business needs a new application, then developers will have to write code. A lot of code. If an application needs to be modernized, then you'll need time, resources, and caffeine. If this sounds daunting, then use Watson X Code Assistant. AI designed to multiply developer productivity so you can generate code quickly. Let's create a more modern foundation for business with Watson X Code Assistant. IBM, let's create.
This is what my husband's cowboy boots look like, and it literally breaks my heart. So today, I am surprising him, and we are getting him a good pair of boots. And we're getting rid of these ones with the holes in them. Those look good. Mm-hmm. We've got to get you some.
Oh, we don't need to get one.
No, today. This is literally why we're here.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, baby. Your boots have holes in them.
All right.
We're getting an episode.
Oh, yeah.
They look so good.
You're welcome.
He's on the run! Cool as a cucumber! Beautiful wall pass! Brilliant! Stop next to defender! Inasistencia.
Lowe's knows what a great assist can lead to. Join Lowe's Rewards for our greatest assist yet.
Give me that ooey gooey, crispy, crunchy, mouth-watering. Give me that beefy, meaty, grilly, dilly, pickle popping. Give me that burger sauce and toss and Papa John's. Better get you some cheesy burger pizza at Papa John's.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can it keep me warm when I'm cold?
Wait, no, I'm always hot.
Sleep Number does that. Shop our lowest prices of the season with no interest until 2027. Sleep Number smart bed starting at $9.99. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I know we only just met, but I can't imagine my life without you.
What is Circle? Circle is the fuel you need to take flight. With 0 calories and no sugar, dial up your electrolytes when it's game point. Circle, available at Walmart and drinkcircle.com.
Upset stomach? Iberogast. Indigestion? Iberogast. Bloating? Iberogast. Thanks to a unique combination of herbs, Iberogast helps relieve 6 digestive symptoms to help you feel better. 6 digestive symptoms, the power of nature. Iberogast.
The all-new GoDaddy Aero helps you get your business online in minutes with the power of AI. With the perfect name, a great logo, and a beautiful website. Just start with a domain, a few clicks, and you're in business. Make now the future at GoDaddy.com/Aero.
Come on, chameleon. You come and go. You come and go.
Exclusively adult, award-winning voyages by Virgin.
The bedroom suite, with deliberate details and modern functionality. For the indoor enthusiast. Check in at Thuma.co.
Orlando hosting one of the matches here on day 10 at Copa America. Canada and Chile both trying to book a spot in the knockout stage from Group A, but they are scoreless at the break. Rob Stone, Clint Dempsey, Carly Lloyd, and Alexia Lawless back in studio with you. This the 9th game this Copa America to go to the half with a 0-0 scoreline. Canada knew they would guarantee a spot in the quarters with the win. Chile, they needed a win and some help. As we take a look at your first half highlights, brought to you by BMW.
All right, Rob Stone likes a good little foreshadow, and that might be it here. Yellow from on Suazo. He says, I didn't do anything, and I'm an angel, and I couldn't possibly ever do that again.
And this could potentially have been the goal of the tournament here. Nice little cross. Ooh. A little, I don't know, what are we calling it? A little scissor bite.
Almost bite, yeah.
Davila.
And he talked about keys to the game for Canada was to frustrate Chile, and boy, did they. Right here, draws the foul to Rea, gets the second yellow card, and with them only needing to draw our win to go through, it looks like they're in a good position to make that happen.
Man advantage, 0-0 after 45. We've only had 4 goals scored in this group. All of them have come in the second half. We go to your FS1 game right now in Miami. Argentina without Lionel Messi taking on Peru. Free kick, 26th minute. Your Orlando City keeper with a nice save.
Ooh, Galesi with a real nice save. Watch him get his mid up here. That's going up a 90. That's going in the corner. Galesi says, not on my watch.
He had 3 saves in the first 45. Go to the 41st minute.
And not a whole lot of action, not a lot of great chances by Argentina. Di Maria, they were successful when they got the ball out wide to him. He takes a shot there.
I agree with Carly. Di Maria was dangerous, and he passes the ball to Montiel, who gets it to Lo Celso. What a save from Galesi, and Garnacho couldn't get it on frame.
Argentina, 77% possession. Peru, 10 fouls, 0-0 after 45. Chile playing a man down after the second yellow and red to Suazo, but the game against Canada still scoreless at the break. Second half kick from Orlando next.
Hola.
Maybe a different beer?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Okay, be right back.
Stomach? Iberogast. Indigestion? Iberogast. Bloating? Iberogast. Thanks to a unique combination of herbs, Iberogast helps relieve 6 digestive symptoms to help you feel better. 6 digestive symptoms, the power of nature. Iberogast.
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way into your car.
Buzz.
But this hive isn't big enough for the both of us. Boo! Wow, what a buzzkill. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, paying for this could really sting. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Rumor has it that our new New York-style pizza is Domino's best pizza yet. Made with our fresh, never-frozen dough that's stretched thin and cut into 6 foldable slices. Rumor also has it that you might have to fight over the last slice. Order Domino's New York-style tonight and see for yourself.
Monday, it's the Summer of Stars as the U.S. hosts the world's best players for Copa America. The U.S. men's team looks to make an historic run. This is the championship of the Americas. USA versus Europe.
Interesting. Can she even speak a word of Spanish?
Lo siento, ¿qué dijiste?
Wait, really?
¿Qué? Son solo 15 minutos al día.
Start learning today at Babbel.com.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Spot Pet insurance plans help pet parents focus on the moments that matter and worry less about unexpected vet bills. From puppyhood and beyond, Spot can cover up to 90% of eligible vet visits. Visit spotpet.com to get a free quote.
Back for the second half in Orlando. 0-0 between Chile and Canada after the first 45 in a game that Chile must win to have a chance of going to the quarterfinals. Canada, as things stand, only need a draw as long as Peru don't beat Argentina down in Miami. They are also at halftime scoreless. A double change being made by Chile at the start of this second half. They're sending Marcos Volados onto the pitch along with Eric Pulgar. Volados is replacing striker Eduardo Vargas. It's Pulgar, who started their last game, is back on for this now with his team down to 10. Remember, Chile reduced to 10 men by that second yellow card to Gabriel Suazo just over midway through the first half. They're incredibly well supported today in Orlando. Canada with plenty of fans here too. They're all wearing red one way or the other. And Canada in their away white kits today with the red trim. Chile wearing their traditional red shirts and blue shorts. As we get set for half number 2, Chile will attack from left to right. They'll have to pick their spots to do that, but they're going to have to at some point. Another scoreless draw won't do it for them today. Referee Wilmar Roldan blows the whistle. We're back underway. Can Canada see this out in the second half? Can Chile create some magic one more time with this golden generation? With Vargas off the pitch at the start of this second half, that's 2 of their 4 players with over 100 appearances coming into this tournament who aren't playing now. And their normal starting goalkeeper for the last couple decades, Claudio Bravo, couldn't go today because of a knee injury. Gabriel Vargas standing in for him, made a key save late in the first half. Chile making some progress and have an attacking throw here in the first minute of the second half. Alexis Sanchez, their all-time leading scorer. Can he create and finish something one more time for his side? And for Canada, this would be one of their biggest results in men's program history if they could get to the quarterfinals of their first ever Copa America. Another throw for Chile down by that corner flag, which they take quickly. It is Sanchez battling, crossing, blocked by Alphonso Davies. Did that go out of play? It did. Just the second corner of the game coming for Chile. Again, these attacking set pieces are where Chile might be able to grab a goal. Taken by Davila. Swung backside. Good chance. It's over the bar. Claiming a deflection in another corner. They're going to get one. It did come off a Canadian defender last. Echeverria rose up for it. Sanchez takes this. Whips it back in. Contact wasn't clean enough. Crepeau was there. Igor Lichnowsky had a great chance. He's a central defender. They don't count on him to score. He's never scored for Chile. Might not get a better chance than that. Not today, at least. Now Crepeau out of his area. That didn't go out of play. Canada looking a little disjointed at the start of this second half. Chile down a player, but they're dominating these early stages. Putting Canada under pressure, claiming a free kick. Which direction is this going? See both teams pointing. Haven't seen an indication from Wilmer Roldan which way this is going to go. It was Davies and Isla coming together. It's an awkward one. Davies trying to stoop down to play it with his head. Isla going in knee first. Well, it is a free kick for Canada. We do have a goal in Miami. Argentina had scored early in the second half. They lead Peru 1-0. And so that confirms, at least for now, that this game will determine who the second team is to go through from Group A. Argentina already through. They're going to win the group as things stand. This is the updated live table. With that goal, Argentina, if they win that game, they take all 9 points from their 3 group games. Canada currently drawing. They would take second place and advance to the quarterfinals. That's why Chile have to win this game. Now Canada into the middle. Schaffelberg takes a tumble. Toward the end line, it spins out. And Chilean players in Schaffelberg's face saying he dove. Lynn was too far ahead of Schaffelberg, claiming he was held back. And then that. Mauricio Isla, one of those 2 remaining massively experienced players on the pitch. He was part of those previous Copa America winning squads. 142nd appearance for him in a Chilean shirt today. But here's Kyle Larin trying to cut it into the middle. Had it poked off his toes, and Arias can settle things down. 5 minutes into the second half. Chile had a good start out of the break. And launch it forward here toward Alexis. Towering header was won instead by Alistair Johnston. Maxime Crepeau plays for Portland Timbers in Major League Soccer. He's been a breakout player at this tournament so far. Made a couple one-on-one saves against Lionel Messi. No big deal in their opener. Didn't have a ton of saves to make, but made 2 spectacular ones against Peru to preserve that 1-0 win for Canada. Here goes Johnston, releasing a man in behind. Opportunities here for Canada. The cutback attempt, shouts for handball. Still in play. Referee not giving anything yet. Now waves his arm, says no penalty. It's out for a Canada throw, and Canada protests for more. Great release for Richie Larea. His cutback. Guillermo Marapan sliding. That did hit his arm. Hit the back of the tricep, looked like. Is that enough for a penalty? Doesn't look like it. It's been a high bar tonight, and they've been consistent. And the referee is still stopping play, so no, now he waves it forward. So no penalty. On we go. And VAR has the option to ask the referee to come to the field side monitor to review the play and possibly change the decision in a case of a potential penalty. But again, the VAR room opting not to do that there, as they have throughout the night so far. Here's Alphonso Davies, always dangerous. Into the middle, Laren, out wide Larrea. Richie Larrea blocked out. Guillermo Maripan in the way again for Chile. Shake of the head from Jesse Marsh. Canada 1, Peru 0 in Miami. Peru headed out unless there's a really dramatic turnaround there as things stand. So that's a question of whether it's Canada or Chile who go to the quarterfinals. Right now it would be Canada. Schaffelberg has great speed, not afraid to play the shoulder, but did too much of that there. Can be a very different role when you're starting instead of coming off the bench for the last half hour, the way Schaffelberg's been doing lately for Canada. With his speed, it's really tough for opposing teams to defend him when he's fresh and they're all tired in the second half. It's a lot different when you start at the same time as everybody else. And that was the challenge and the question for Schaffelberg and Canada today. Could Schaffelberg make that same impact from a starting role as he does as a substitute? He's had a couple bright moments. Oh, that's a bad giveaway by Canada. And then Johnston in a collision. And the throw taken quickly by Chile. Along the end line, this stays in play for now. Canada surrounding with white shirts. Chaotic, frantic game. And more. Chile think they have a corner. Canada think they have a goal kick. It is a corner for Chile. In from Sanchez. Didn't beat the first man. Volleyed errantly by Davila. So much so that it stayed in play. Sanchez. Good cross back in. And that loops on goal. Easy take for Crépeau. Echeverria got on the end of it, but couldn't get any power behind it. Canada throw, and you see Jesse Marsh in the black tracksuit there, just gesturing to his players. Calm down, slow down. Don't need to get caught up in this. They're the ones with the man advantage. They're the ones that only need a tie tonight. 10 minutes into the second half. Schaffelberg coming short. Davies had it touched out. Stefan Eustachio. I think Canada would like to get him on the ball more in this second half. They had their most dangerous chance in the first half. Arias had to come racing out of his area to smother his shot. Larrea claiming offside. Now the flag goes up against Kyle Laren. Jesse Marsh likes the idea. The goal for Argentina in their game, by the way, against Peru. These two games happening simultaneously. That was from Lautaro Martinez in the 47th minute. Martinez has scored in all three group games for Argentina at this tournament now. Argentina already through to the quarterfinals no matter what happened today. This is in play. And it's going to be just a throw for Chile, and then what else? Yellow card out for Alistair Johnston. 3 of the 4 defenders on that Canadian back line now on yellow cards. So they may be up a man, but that man advantage is precarious now with 33 minutes plus stoppage time still to play. Johnston, Bombito, Davies, all on yellows. Throw in, launched into the box. Edge of the area. Put in aimlessly and hacked away. Chile hunting that loose ball. Sanchez trying to get turned. Laid it off really well. Dames had gotten forward. He got caught. Lorea trying to bend it into the path of Laren. That took a deflection off a Chilean player. Canada throw. And Chilean head coach Ricardo Gareca watching this game from the stands today. So it's his first assistant coach who's directing things on the touchline. Eustachio. Derek Cornelius. Another one of those young central defenders who's starting to establish himself in this Canadian team. Alphonso Davies. Laren lays it back to him. Davies motors. Davies dangerous against 3 defenders. Tried to split 2 of them. Neat spin by Isla. Put it off Davies for a goal kick. One goal changes everything. Canada get it, they're practically into the quarterfinals, especially with Chile down to 10. If Chile get it, it is game on. They would be in a position to pass Canada and go through with a win because they would finish in second place in the group as things stand. Canada would finish third and would be out. Schaffelberg gently for Laren, who's able to turn one corner, but couldn't beat a second man as Pulgar was there to mop up. Well, he played 60 minutes, 30 to go. As this wears on, the longer it stays 0-0, Chile are going to have to start pushing more players up into the attack. They're going to have to start taking more chances in this must-win game. Would open up more counterattacking chances and more space for Canada. And this is going to be a Chilean free kick. Again, these are the kind of situations that are precious when you're down a player but need a goal. Maxime Crépeau. A couple get past him against Argentina. That's understandable. They're the world champions. Nothing by him against Peru. Nothing so far today. Davila in. Solidly away by Davies. Mauricio Isla is going to take this throw. Sanchez. Reset for Maripan. Forced Davila to stretch for it. Sanchez again. Sanchez bends it toward the 6-yard box. Good ball. And let this roll out for another Chile throw. They still have not scored at this tournament, Chile. And they haven't been held without a goal at a Copa America since 1917. And Sanchez misplays that for a goal kick. Packed house at Inter & Co Stadium in Orlando tonight. Most of them supporting Chile. Canada still with the situational advantage because they came into this with 3 points and Chile only 1. Arias is down by the Chilean goalmouth, and that could be a problem for Chile because they're already without their normal starting keeper, Claudio Bravo. They'd be down to their third goalkeeper, Brian Cortez, if Arias can't go. And that prompts a discussion on their bench. Chilean fans undaunted. Their team's going to have to figure out whether their goalkeeper can continue. It has been an interesting situation of their goalkeeper spot over the last couple of years. I mentioned Arias was their starter about 5 years ago, had a bad Copa America tournament, hadn't regained the starting shirt since then for the national team. Brian Cortez, who's their next keeper on the bench right now, he had been starting for the last couple of years until Ricardo Gareca came in as head coach early this year. And he demoted Cortez based on tonight, not just to the second choice, but to the third string, because he chose to start Arias tonight when Bravo couldn't play instead of Cortez. But there's a chance here that Cortez might wind up in the game anyway. Canada are about to make changes. Liam Miller's ready to come on. He replaces Jacob Schaffelberg. Had some dangerous moments in the first half. Couldn't quite make the impact from that starting spot that he did off the bench last game. Also in a game where Canada don't have to stretch themselves so far. It's a dangerous game to play, though, of course, because if they do give up a goal, then they would have to score all of a sudden. Liam Miller plays in England for Preston North End. Moved to England when he was 13 years old to pursue soccer. On to help Canada pursue a place in the quarterfinals here over the last 25 minutes. And his first action is to play Davies down the left. Davies across the face of goal. Scuffed back in front. Behind everyone in white. Chile survive. And they can play their way out and maybe get themselves up the pitch. Davila goes down. Free kick. Miller just on the pitch is going to go right into the book with a yellow card. Well, that's an eventful first minute. Almost helped set up a Canada goal as he released Davies, whose cross was really good. And then right here, he trips Davila. Canada have 4 players on a yellow card now, still on the pitch. Miller, Davies, Bombito, Johnston. Has to be making Jesse Marsh a little nervous. But again, 3 of those players are defenders, and you hate taking those guys off usually, unless you have to. Eustachio, tough tackling, won the ball, but the referee says illegally. I think he's called for the arm on the body of Echeverria. Chile have one player forward, but it's a good ball to reach him. Isla across. Alphonso Davies had tracked back to get in the way. Miller then had it taken away as he went 1-on-2. Arias has continued after he was down a couple minutes ago. Still 1-0 Argentina over Peru in the other game in Miami. Still means Canada go to the quarterfinals with a draw here. Chile would have to win. Canada free kick as we approach the final quarter of this game. Space for Davies. Bends it for Liam Miller. Miller by the end line. Went out of play. Goal kick. Interesting combination there with Davies playing Miller around the corner that time. It was the other way around a couple minutes ago. Marcos Bulatos playing up top, the lone guy up top for Chile now. It's just his 10th appearance. He's one of the less experienced members of this team. Has scored a couple goals for them already. There he is now, chesting it down, juggled along by Pulgar. Back to Bulatos. Canada throw. See how close the stands are to the field here at Inter & Co Stadium. Makes for a great atmosphere, great environment for what's essentially a knockout game. This final game of the group stage in Group A. This final round of group games continues over the next couple days. United States, a huge game against Uruguay on Monday that they're probably going to have to win to have a chance of going through. Panama play Bolivia in that group after upsetting the United States a couple days ago. Mexico also in trouble. They'll play tomorrow after losing to Venezuela in their second group game. They'll have to beat Ecuador. Otherwise, Ecuador will go through. Lots of drama still to come in these last 20 minutes here in Orlando and over the next couple days before we head to the knockout rounds. Chile have to find a goal somehow. Canada wanted handball on Alexis Sanchez, who was able to spin and almost thread a teammate through. And Canada can break now with Johnston. His ball to Larrea forces him wide. As runners arriving in the middle, Larrea presses through one tackle, wants to lift it into the box. It's going to be a corner for Canada. Last 20 minutes. Taken by Davies. Top of the 6-yard box, punched away by Arias. Flagged down by Miller. Miller on the charge. Miller tries to bend it back post. Couldn't get it to bend enough. Chile down a player since just over midway through the first half when Gabriel Suazo was sent off for 2 yellow cards. Canada still with 4 players on a single yellow. Haven't been a lot of chances today, but the tension thick in this humid central Floridian air. Laren trying to hunt that ball down. It didn't go out of play. He thought it did. Loose ball. Chile onto it in the center circle. The spin by Sanchez. Brings the teammate into the play. Good switch to the far side. Down for Bulatos. He's able to get turned. He wins a free kick. Not a huge amount of contact from Eustachio. He was frustrated at the call. Another attacking set piece for Chile. Chance for them maybe to grab the goal that would change the whole situation here in Group A. Chile haven't failed to get out of the group stages at Copa America in 20 years. Made it out of the group each of the last 6 editions of this tournament. They don't score in the last 17, that'll end. This is scooped over the top. Crépeau stayed home after starting to come for it. His teammates deal with it. Nervous couple of seconds for Canada. And what's going to be a nervous last 17 minutes plus, as long as the score stays like this. What a flick. Sanchez taking over again. Alexis Sanchez deflected. Crépeau keeps it out. For just a second, it looked like Crépeau might have been stranded. He was able to recover. Alexis Sanchez taking over for Chile, trying to will them into the quarterfinals, trying to create a goal all by himself, which when you're playing a man down, sometimes you need somebody to do that. Liam Miller. Canada about to make a double change the next time the ball's out of play. Bombito. Larea. Osorio. Plays for Toronto FC in MLS. Trying to help Canada to a historic result. Johnston able to beat one. Canada not wanting to take chances, not wanting to risk turning the ball over in the middle of the park. Risk a Chilean counterattack. Oh, Miller's already been carded, commits another foul there. And see what Chile want and hear what their fans want. They're not going to get it. Not right now. 15 minutes to go. Look at the foul again. Here's that double change for Canada. Off comes Richie Larea. Off comes Kyle Laren. On comes Tani Oluwasi and Tejan Buchanan. That's an interesting switch for Jesse Marsh. I'll tell you why in a second. As Chile going to create something here. Bulatos. This is going to spin across the end line. It's a goal kick. So that double change made by Canadian head coach Jesse Marsh. As they're going to make a change too. Chile. They're taking off Victor Davila. Bringing on Ben Brereton Diaz. He plays in Spain. He scored a handful of goals for them in his Chilean career. Jesse Marsh making that change. He brings off 2 experienced players, Richie Larea and Kyle Laren. They combined for about 120 appearances for Canada. Bringing on Tejan Buchanan, who does have some experience, but he's younger. Antoni Oluwase. It's just his third appearance for Canada. Plays for Minnesota United in MLS. Told you this is an MLS-heavy roster for the Canadians as they look for a goal that would secure their place in the next round, almost certainly, if they can score one. Only needing a draw. Up a man. 13 minutes to go. Alphonso Davies sliding it forward. First touch for Oluwase. Liam Miller. 3 red shirts in front of him. Backheeled. Into the box goes Davies. Alphonso Davies runs into a red wall. Goal kick. See the shots on target. 4 for Chile, just 2 for Canada. Couple off frame for both sides. Still 1-0 Argentina leading Peru in Miami. So Peru are just about out. They had to win today, probably had to win by multiple goals to have a chance of finishing above either of these two teams. That is not happening. So the day started with Canada probably only needing a tie to go through. Still the case with 12 minutes left. Now Canada have a chance to break. Chile got caught up the pitch. Here goes Liam Miller. He has Oluwase in the middle and he can't pick him out. And Oluwase goes cannoning into Arias. And he's going to get a yellow card. Oluwase was making a good run. I think Miller just waited a little bit too long to deliver that ball. Oluwase just didn't stop. So that's 5 players for Canada now on yellow cards, all on the pitch. That's unusual to have that many yellow cards on the field at once. In most cases, a head coach will try to sub players off when they're on a yellow if he can. But in what's at least a tie or go home game, Jesse Marsch, all those yellow cards to players he doesn't want to take off, and to one who just literally came on seconds ago. Looks like Arias is down again in front of the goal for Chile. Tony Oluwase had a great chance one-on-one with the Peru goalkeeper after he came on late in their last game for Canada. Here's the collision again a second ago. Now there is some confusion over whether Wilmar Roldan, the referee, actually showed the yellow to Oluwase. He had the yellow card out when Oluwase was on the ground. We're being told he never actually held it up, so he might have reconsidered and decided not to show it. So if that's the case, back to just 4 players on a yellow card for Canada. And it doesn't matter how many players are on a yellow at once. It just matters if one of them gets a second yellow and gets sent off. Then you have a problem, just like Chile have had since midway through the first half when Gabriel Suazo was sent off. That's why they've been playing with 10 ever since. And that's what has made it even more difficult for them to score the goal that they have to score. They have a chance at the quarterfinals. A game they must win. Jesse Marsch getting close to taking Canada to the quarterfinals instead. Substitution for Chile. Cesar Perez comes on. Rodrigo Echeverria off. Canada throw, 8 minutes left, plus stoppage time.
Number 18, Rodrigo Echeverria. He was replaced by number 24, Cesar Perez.
Canada, of course, made it to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. That was their first time qualifying for a World Cup since the mid-'80s. It was a huge step forward for their program. Here's Buchanan getting around the edge. Tajon Buchanan by the end line, looking to pick somebody out. Buchanan across. Jonathan David was arriving. It didn't reach him. Chile do enough for now to stay in it. Those are the kind of chances Canada are going to have over these last 10 minutes, as long as Chile have to keep chasing this goal. Here's Davies. And Jonathan David. Oluwasi. Pulls it back, Buchanan. Tajon Buchanan, shut down by Arias. Canada sniffing blood, hunting for the knockout. It's Eustachio. It's Liam Miller in all kinds of space. Miller charging. Prods it back. Alphonso Davies spins it in. Basically a power play for Canada. Davies. Eustachio. This is just fine from their standpoint. Melt this clock. They only need a tie. But they'd love a goal to make these last few minutes more comfortable. They almost had it a second ago with this guy, Tajon Buchanan, plays for Inter Milan in Italy. They were champions of Italy last year. Alphonso Davies. Eustachio. And Canada can afford to do this. They're daring Chile to come out of their defensive shell and take risks, trying to close the ball down, hoping that will open up space. Eustachio. Miller. Davies wanted to make the run to the end line. Yeah, you see his frustration with Miller. He wanted that ball to go the other way. Instead, it's a Chile throw. A lot of pacing for Jesse Marsh. It's that time of the tournament for every head coach. Still 1-0 Argentina over Peru. Last 5 minutes in Miami. Lautaro Martinez still the only goal there. Peru heading out. Which of these two teams will move on to the last 8? This is a shorter tournament than the World Cup. In the World Cup, if you get out of the group stage, you're into the round of 16. You have to win 4 knockout games to win the whole thing. Copa America, get out of the groups, you're already into the last 8. You only have to win 3 knockouts to be champions. So if you get out of the groups, everybody can dream about lifting that trophy. These two teams still can dream right now. Lifted too far for anyone to do anything in red. Goal kick Canada. They are inching toward the finish line. But they could have made it certain a few minutes ago with this. Good combination play, and Tajon Buchanan was onside. You can see it there. Good save by Arias. Second time in this game he's had to come rushing off his line and cut down that angle. Stayed big. Good tackle by Eustachio. Wins the throw. Those are precious moments for Canada. Win throws, win set pieces, let the clock run. Chile want these final minutes to be as frantic and chaotic as possible. Canada aren't allowing that right now. Arias. Now, This is forward for Diaz, way out of his line, and out of his box comes Crépeau. Read it perfectly. That was a risk. He knew what he was doing. It's always a brave moment for a goalkeeper. If you get that wrong, you have to live with that for the rest of your life. Easier to just stay back on your line, let somebody else take the responsibility. It shows you how tough Maxime Crépeau is. He's had a great tournament. He and Canada a few minutes away from extending it to at least another game. Davies. Laid off by Oluwasi to David. And Johnston. And Buchanan. He has Oluwasi in the middle. His cross deflected out. Canada corner. That's just fine for them. Argentina have just scored a second goal, so if it wasn't certain already, it is now. Peru going out. They had to win that game. It was always unlikely against the defending World Cup and Copa America champs. It's all down to Canada and Chile. Right now it's Canada doing what they need to. Getting a draw. Eustachio short. Osorio. Buchanan. He's just going to take it to the corner. Chile throw. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left. That's the live table. Argentina going to win all 3 games in the group phase. That's not a surprise. They were favored to do that coming in. They're favored to win the whole thing. They are certainly into the quarterfinals. One of these 2 teams from this group will join them. '90th minute, Chile running out of time. We'll find out exactly how much time they have left in another 60 seconds or so, and we see how much stoppage time will be added. This is put out for a throw, and the Chile fans trying to rouse their team for one more attack. Haven't been able to get themselves up the pitch very much with this man disadvantage that they've been playing with. And this is going to be a long throw from Thomas Galdames. Trying to create that chaos. Going back as far as he can. Now catapults it in. First flick. Comes in front. Chested back to Crépeau. Canada survive. Still going through to the quarterfinals as it stands. .90 minutes are up. We're going to have an additional 6 at minimum. So still time for Chile. And still time to navigate for Canada. Is that a high foot? No, it's a free kick for Chile. Canada thought they had a free kick. It goes the other way. Chile have not scored in 3 games in this tournament. On the verge of being shut out for the whole thing and going home. And Canada, maybe the chance to charge, but Liam Miller put it too far in front of himself. But he wins it back. And there are options here for Jonathan David. And he plays in Tejan Buchanan into the middle, and there it is. A lead for La Roja. A lead for Le Rouge. No, the flag is up. It's not going to count. It will be checked by VAR. It was, for just a second, the first goal in a Canada shirt for Tani Oluwasi. been wiped out for the moment. Let's see. Oluwasi is offside. Good decision by the assistant referee. He's past that last defender when Buchanan releases that ball. No goal. Still 0-0. 4 minutes to go, at least. Chile not out of it yet. Can Alexis Sanchez find one more moment of magic in a long career in this Chile shirt? Check is complete. Offside confirmed. Ball was out of play for over a minute there. So you would expect them to add that on to the minimum of 6. So we'll probably play until at least 97, maybe 98 minutes as things stand. Arias as long as he can. Towering header. It's a great header by Cornelius. Chile forward. Chile wide. Bolatos. Corner for Chile. Late chance for Chile. Late hope for their fans. Taken by Perez. Lifted backside. Canada get it away. And that's going to roll out. And Canada will take that as the seconds continue to ooze off the clock. Wilmer Roldan just pointed to his watch, looking at the Canada goalkeeper Maxime Crépeau, saying, "I'm watching you. If you take too much time, I'll just add it on." One more change for Canada. Kamal Miller is replacing Jonathan David, who is taking his time going off the field. The Chile players don't appreciate that. Canada fans, a couple minutes away, possibly, from seeing their side into the quarters. Kamal Miller plays for Portland Timbers. This is his 45th appearance for Canada. On to help shut the door over these final couple minutes. They're praying for a late goal. It's going to be run onto by Isla. Perez. It's got to go forward for Chile. They've got to go forward. They have to take those risks now. And Perez has some space. Takes the shot. It's deflected forward. Crépeau had it taken away by a teammate. But it's going to work out for Canada as it's hacked away by Bombito. One back. Here comes Chile again. Clipped backside. Up in the air. They can't find it. I don't think Johnston was sure who that was off last and felt he had to play it. And that's going to deflect off a Chile player, and that's a goal kick. And Canada are almost there. Here's the VAR check from a couple minutes ago. Canada thought they had the goal that would have put it away. Oluwasi was offsides. Great finish. Good ball from Tejan Buchanan. Slightly mistimed. Now, how much additional time does Wilmer Roldan add on here at the end of the 6 minutes? Remember that VAR check took over a minute. So the 6 minutes is a minimum, in theory. It's at the referee's discretion beyond that. Now, this is just about the last chance for Chile. Last chance for the last members of their golden generation to keep their dream of one more Copa America alive. Diaz. Hammered out of play, almost out of the stadium by Bombito. Late attacking throw for Chile. Very late. Galdames ready to launch. Lots of prayers being said. All kinds of grabbing and pushing in the penalty box before this throw. It will probably decide this game and decide who advances. Canada as it stands, Chile if they score. It's got to go in for Chile. It's launched in for Chile. It's flicked on. It's still loose. It's prodded along. Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez, one more opportunity. Pings it across. Crépeau with one hand brings it in. He reeled it in and may see Canada to the quarters. It was not pretty from Canada. It'll work. Almost a perfect cross. You see Matapan was ready to head that home if it had gotten over Crépeau, and there's the final whistle. It is over. One of the biggest results in Canadian men's soccer history. They are out of the group, and they are into the Copa America quarterfinals. It finishes tonight in Orlando. Canada 0, Chile 0. Canada had to get a draw coming in. Chile had to win. It was more nervous than Canada would have liked, but Chile made it even tougher for themselves with that red card in the first half on Gabriel Suazo. Weren't able to create a lot until late. And Canada again showing maturity. Jesse Marsh talked before the tournament about Canada needing to grow up, needing to learn to scrap and fight and win ugly games, or in this case, tie ugly games. That's exactly what they've done in their last two. 1-0 over Peru, 0-0 here. Maxime Crépeau, another shutout, another moment added to his growing Canada career. He's their number one. There's no question now. They are headed for the last 8 in their first appearance at Copa America. Big respect being earned by the Northerners. Respect they have waited many generations for.
Up front tonight, the breaking news.
Stay informed and engaged with the stories that shape our world with the Sirius XM news channels.
Border Patrol and ICE have had to limit the...
From cable news to business.
And so the markets need to be prepared for that and the volatility and for that.
And international.
The strength of values. It's the strength of real freedom.
The Sirius XM news channels, starting at channel 112 and on the Sirius XM app.
Mark 30 years of one of rap's greatest albums. And go deep into the musical world of the notorious B.I.G. on a channel featuring all his legendary rhymes. And stories from those who knew him best.
Whether it was party joints or songs about his life and times in Brooklyn.
Notorious Radio, throughout Black Music Month in the Sirius XM app. And now, for a limited time, on Channel 79.
In Geodis Park in Tennessee. Later tonight, LAFC hosting Colorado, San Jose hosting the LA Galaxy in the California Classico. Seattle Sounders looking to keep up their good home form. They take on Chicago at Lumen Field tonight at 7:30, and Vancouver Whitecaps taking on St. Louis City up at BC Place. And of course, international matches across the board. Argentina lead, just put the finishing touches on Peru 2-0, and Canada tied with Chile 0-0. I'm going to have to ask Aaron Heinzen what that means for CONCACAF standings. Adam, what is the Chile-Canada scoreless tie mean?
Yeah, Canada just needed a draw and they're through. So they've done it. Second place in the group. Argentina is already first. Messi's not going to be playing the final game. So Argentina second place in that group. So they are through. Kamal Miller, Maxime Crépeau might be gone just a little bit longer. All right, they'll be gone a little bit longer. Maxime's played great over there. Incredible. It's been really, really fun. All right, we'll talk about the starting 11s and 18s for both sides next. Timbers, Minnesota United here on 750 The Game.
You're probably spending a lot more time at home these days, so when something goes wrong, it's a big deal. That's why you need First American Home Warranty.
Having First American is like having a handyman at my beck and call. I've easily saved $500 to $1,000 a year.
First American Home Warranty. Protect your home and your budget with fast, reliable help. Visit firstamericanforyou.com/warranty for a free no-obligation quote. That's firstamerican4u.com/warranty.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's July 4th sale and get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. All with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Get a drive-through coffee. Watch half an episode of reality TV. Take a dang shower. All things you could do instead of a diaper run when you have a Hello Bello subscription. Hello Bello believes all families deserve premium quality baby products. Super soft, super absorbent, super cute. And for all the tired parents listening, super easy. Go to hellobello.com/sound to get 30% off your first customized bundle and a full-sized freebie product of your choice with promo code SOUND.
Why is America America? The answer to why is where. Come visit the place where America's founding is still being found. Colonial Williamsburg. The revolution is here. Learn more at colonialwilliamsburg.org. My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. With summer heat quickly approaching, CarShield is offering a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Visit now to see why CarShield is voted America's most trusted vehicle protection company and see why our commitment to our customers has landed us an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We have live reps here to answer all your questions, but you have to visit now. Visit carshield.com/audio now. Drivers who are covered will have peace of mind when it comes to breakdowns. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive roadside assistance, towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Visit us for your free quick quote today. carshield.com/audio. That's carshield.com/audio. What do you have to lose? carshield.com/audio.
All right, starting 11's out for both Portland Timbers, Minnesota United. We'll start with the road Loons. They have Clint Irwin in goal, their backup keeper, with Dane St. Clair with the Canadian men's national team, as is the Timbers starting goalkeeper, Maxime Crépeau, and Max has been playing phenomenally well. Another clean sheet for him tonight, just like he did against Peru, and Canada is through after a scoreless draw with Chile earlier today. Clint Irwin between the pipes for Minnesota United. Four in the back for the Loons. Paddleford at left back, DJ Taylor at right back, Michael Boxall right center back, and Miguel Tapias, who had a red card against Portland in the first matchup, he's at left center back. In the central midfield, you have Will Trapp and, of course, Robin Lod, the most goals in Minnesota history. They are starting in central midfield. Caden Clark on the outside, Joseph Rosales on the left outside wing as well, and two up top in Longwane and Sangbin. Sangbin also a goal scorer against Portland in the first matchup. Is Eric Valentine among the 18 available if Eric Ramsey so chooses. For the Timbers, James Pantemis, 3 clean sheets to his name and part of his efforts, replacing Maxime Crépeau. He starts in goal. Claudio Bravo, Juan David Mosquera, the outside backs. Dario Zubric, Zach McGraw, such a strong center back pairing. They're at it again in defense for Portland. David Ashala next to Diego Chara. That has gone very well. Ashala, a strong performance against Minnesota on May 18th. Jonathan Rodriguez, Santiago Moreno attacking up the flanks. Felipe Mora up top, and of course the talisman of Anders sitting underneath, engineering the Timbers attack. And the 27 jersey, Dairon Asprilla, available in the 18, and hopefully we'll see his selection at some point as a sub. Aaron Heinzen, your thoughts on the lineups tonight?
Well, I think it looks like we expected for the Timbers personally, but I'll talk about Minnesota first here, Judah. And what sticks out for me is Josef Rosales on the left-hand side for Minnesota United. He's got 8 assists, got a really nice left foot, takes a lot of set pieces for Minnesota, which they are dangerous at. And the second piece for them is the speed up top. We thought Sangbin, Longwane, talked about them a little bit. We know Portland are missing a few pieces, as we've mentioned. We think about sometimes the speed with Zach McGraw. If Mosquera's pushed up, they may be kind of targeting that area. So something to watch out for Portland. But Minnesota, it's what they can do right now with the squad that they have out, and that's what sticks out to me right now.
Minnesota went at full strength, like to defend high up the pitch and try to catch you off. They did that against Dallas, and they conceded 5 goals. I think this 4-4-2 is kind of them conceding that, hey, they're going to sit behind the ball, but Dario Zubric and Zach McGraw get ready to run, because these are 2 of the fastest players in MLS, and Robin Ludd feeding them from central should be dangerous. And also, be careful with fouling those 2. Hulangwane, I'm not saying he's talented at the dark arts, but he was the most fouled player in MLS last year before he got injured to end the season. So if you can get Zach McGraw or Dario Zubric in yellow card trouble, that could be something to watch out for.
Of course, there will be a moment in the 27th minute or thereabouts when Timbers Army will pause and give a minute-long applause to Dairon Asprilla, the longtime 27 shirt for Portland Timbers. And, of course, he is available in the 18, and we'll see how that manifests throughout the night. All right, we'll bounce a break and come back. We'll get you the Sports Medicine Oregon injury update and Aaron Heinzen's keys to the game. We'll also hear from Shannon Murray to round out the pregame show. Portland and Minnesota, yours tonight here on 750 The Game.
Sparky the Fire Dog here. Make sure your family has a fire escape plan, and they practice it twice a year. One important thing to practice is get low and go. If you see or smell smoke, it's important to get low and go. Protect your family from fire. For more information, visit sparky.org.
We want to keep you, your family, and your community safer from fire. This message brought to you by the National Fire Protection Association and your local fire department. Visit sparky.org. E.org.
Why is America America? The answer to why is where. Come visit the place where America's founding is still being found. Colonial Williamsburg. The revolution is here. Learn more at colonialwilliamsburg.org.
If you try to buy a gun for someone who can't, you could face 15 years in jail. If someone asks you to lie to a federally licensed firearm retailer so you can buy a gun for them, don't. It's not worth 15 years in jail. Don't lie for the other guy. Brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation at don'tlie.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's John Canzano.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep.
Head
to Mattress Firm's July 4th sale and get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. All with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
This is Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPM. America's fuel and petrochemical manufacturers are committed to reducing emissions. Brianne, an engineer and fuels researcher, explains how.
Liquid fuels have the ability to pack a lot of energy into a small place. Using lower emission fuels in the existing fleet of cars and trucks that are on the roads today, we can reduce carbon dioxide, making meaningful steps towards greenhouse gas reduction.
To learn more, visit WeMakeProgress.org.
United tonight here on the pitch at Providence Park. Love that. Stephen Vaughn, thank you. Sports Medicine Oregon injury update. Sports Medicine Oregon restoring active lifestyles to injured athletes of all ages. Let's start with Minnesota United. Injuries for Hugo Bacharach and Franco Fragapane, as well as a knee injury to Timo Pukki, keeps that trio out. Pukki notable, of course, as is Fragapane, without question. International duty absences for Alejandro Braun, Carlos Harvey, Tani Oluwase, and Dane St. Clair, the latter two with Team Canada, still going through the knockout stages of Copa America after tonight's result. For Portland Timbers, Miguel Araujo will return sometime soon, you would hope, after Peru's exit in Copa America. Miguel did get the red card against Canada, unfortunately, but he'll be coming back. Maxime Crépeau, Kamal Miller, as we mentioned with Minnesota side, they are out with Team Canada. And Marvin Loria still working his way back, still featuring in training from a leg injury that required surgery earlier this year. Aaron Heinzen, you rejoin me. Time for the keys to the game. And what do you have for us this evening?
Well, Judah, I have number one is for the Timbers to come out and take their game to Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't do a lot of possession, and Portland will need to possess the ball, control the game, dictate the pace, and see if they can get something early. Put some pressure on this Minnesota team, get ahead, and keep the pressure up. Number two is set pieces, defending that, just doing the basic stuff. We saw in that game in Minnesota so many moments the Timbers played so well and then just switched off, and Minnesota punished them. Doing those defensive things, keeping an eye on your marker, looking at David Ashala, following those runs in the wings. They don't have Timo Pukki today, who is so crafty and pulling center backs out of the middle of the field into the wings and then playing those balls into the spaces, but they still have the pace of Longwane and Sang Bin. So defensively, really solid back there, and especially on set pieces as well with the service from Rosales, as I mentioned earlier. Those are my two keys to the game.
We'll check in with you at halftime about those. Tonight's keys to the game brought to you by Ford, your local Northwest Ford dealer, buyfordnow.com. We'll hear from assistant coach Shannon Murray to round out the pregame show. Portland Timbers, Minnesota United, kickoff just past 7:30 right here on 750 The Game.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
If you try to purchase a gun for someone who can't, you could buy yourself 15 years in jail. If a friend or relative asks you to lie to a federally licensed firearms retailer so you can buy a gun for them, don't do it. It's not worth 15 years in jail. Whatever you do, don't lie for the other guy. This message is brought to you as a public service announcement by the NSSF, the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Remember, don't lie for the other guy. Visit them on the web at don'tlie.org.
With Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal, you can get your choice of a sausage or bacon, egg, and cheese English muffin with small seasoned potatoes.
And with all that for just $3, it really is a proper breakfast, wouldn't you say? Huh? With a light and fluffy toasted English muffin and crispy seasoned potatoes. Go on, Catherine, give it a go.
Okay. Jolly good morning.
Ah, close, love. Grab a proper breakfast with Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal for a limited time.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Select a request English muffin deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders. Single item at regular price. Prices are higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
No tienes que esperar a que te paguen para finalmente invitar a tus papás a comer. Solo te tiene que salir una oferta de sus favoritos en el McDonald's app. Ahorra con el app. Para pa pa pa. en McDonald's participantes.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why is America America? The answer to why is where. Come visit the place where America's founding is still being found. Colonial Williamsburg. The revolution is here. Learn more at colonialwilliamsburg.org.
You're probably spending a lot more time at home these days, so when something goes wrong, it's a big deal. That's why you need First American Home Warranty.
Having First American is like having a handyman at my beck and call. I've easily saved $500 to $1,000 a year.
First American Home Warranty. Protect your home and your budget with fast, reliable help. Visit firstamericanforyou.com/warranty for a free no-obligation quote. That's firstamerican4u.com/warranty.
Final segment of the pregame show is the Portland Timbers trying to make it 7 straight unbeaten and make it 3 straight wins. Also trying to get some revenge on this Minnesota United team that defeated them in the first matchup back on May the 18th at Allianz Field, 2-1, the last time the Timbers lost. Since then, late May, month of June, been friendly to the Portland Timbers. They try to keep up their positive momentum tonight at home inside Providence Park, a match that will be the sending off of Dairon Asprilla from the Rose City, pending a transfer back to Atletico Nacional in his native Colombia. Dairon available for selection in the 18 tonight. Not in the starting 11, but we eagerly anticipate the 27th minute applause for Dairon by Timbers Army tonight at Providence Park, and also his hopefully featuring at a time that sees the Timbers in a favorable scoreline as well, taking on Minnesota United. Adam Sussman spoke to assistant coach Shannon Murray earlier this week ahead of the second regular season matchup between Portland and Minnesota.
The biggest sporting events
Send here
happen
with Timbers.
SiriusXM
Appreciate
Sports.
it. Thanks. Send here with Timbers. Appreciate it. Thanks. Shannon Murray. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yo, this is George Reister. Don't forget to listen to my show, Nightcap, every weeknight, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
To air that, and the technical stuff will always be part of the broadcast. Let's go back and hear from Shannon Murray.
Send here with Timbers assistant coach Shannon Murray. Shannon, obviously a depleted Minnesota side. On the coaching aspect, is that kind of more difficult to scout when the normal guys aren't there?
Yeah, no, I think it always adds something to think about, but we've watched Minnesota enough now over the course of the season. We're pretty clued into what they're trying to do, whether their guys are there or not. So we're pretty in tune with it, and now it's just up to our guys to recognize the moments and execute what we want from it. But sometimes when a group doesn't have all their guys, when it kind of galvanizes a group. So I don't think sometimes it makes it even more difficult. So it'll be a challenge for us, but I think we'll be in a good spot come Saturday.
One thing they certainly still have is speed. Ulongwane, Sangbin-John, who punished you guys last time around. What is the challenge that presents your backline with the speed they have up top?
Yeah, exactly that. I think they are always looking to get in behind. And so how we defend from the front to prevent that certain type of service is going to be one thing. But yeah, they're always going to be dangerous getting behind. That's really their intent, to draw us out, create space in behind our back line and try and exploit that. And so how we defend from the front could set us up into good spots, but it'll be a challenge. And like you said, their pace is always going to be an issue. So something we're going to have to deal with on Saturday, but I think we'll be ready.
Sent here with Timbers assistant coach Shannon Murray. Shannon, on game day, I've seen you in a couple different places. What's kind of your role during the game?
First half, I sit upstairs with Connor, our video analyst. My job is to, sort of be the eye in the sky, so to speak. I'm connected with the bench. Me and Dave Vanbert are connected, so we're speaking throughout the half. And then I'll usually try and leave, 2 or 3 minutes early, get in, try and get halftime set up so that when Phil comes in, I got things that either we've already talked about or things I need to present to him about how we might need to adjust for the second half when we're ready to go and being efficient. And then obviously the second half, I'm out on the bench and being a part of the group at that point. And then I just connect with Connor so that he's the eye in the sky. So yeah, several different roles, a little bit different than over the years of just being on the bench throughout the game. But it's been efficient. I think it leads us to be able to make good decisions come the second half.
One of your fullbacks, Juan Mosquera, has really improved defensively over the last couple of months. What improvements specifically have you seen out of his game?
Exactly that. I think we spent the early part of the year a lot with him working 1v1 defending, especially balls served into the box when he's on the weak side, so to speak. He's improved massively in that respect. I think he still has a ways to go. You still see little moments, but not as big a moments as we've seen in the past. Now it's the next thing is once he's into wide areas and he needs to defend in partnership with either the center back behind him, the central midfielder that's coming in the pocket, or the winger in front of him, how he works in a 1v1 or 1v2 or 2v2 situation. So he's still got a lot of growth. He's a young kid. Obviously, we see all the positives that he gives us going forward, but as he grows on that defensive side, he's just going to be that much better of a player, and we're excited about his work ethic, and he knows it, and he's been working hard, and he's concentrated hard on that area of the game, and you've seen the growth over the last few months.
What advice do you have for young fullbacks in 1v1 defending?
Oof, good question. I think 1v1 defending is an art, right? And it's you can see the best fullbacks over the years, the Palomodinis, those guys had a way of defending, it was on their terms, so to speak. Instead of defending on the back foot, they were defending on the front foot. They knew when to step, they knew when to concede to keep it on their terms. And so just reading the play, learning how to manipulate the opponent, it's a 1v1 game, and so how can you gain leverage? How can you take that leverage to your advantage, and is the trick. And, young players, it just takes time, and, we're excited about the progress he's made so far this year.
What did that Tifo display last game mean to Dairon Asprilla?
It's a good question, and I'd have to ask Dairon. I think, I was just speaking with him today. He got here in 2015. I got here in 2016. So I don't think I've coached today without him around, and that says a lot about him. When he was a younger player, he had some things that he had to work through in terms of his day-to-day work ethic, and as he's grown up, he has shown to be not just, a quality professional, but a quality leader with the rest of the group. And so I think that Tifo sort of explains that. He's a legend. Obviously for the club, he's done a lot of good things, had a lot of good moments and big moments for us. I can think of 2018 when he scored the header on the back post in Seattle in the playoffs. The huge moments, and for him to be recognized by the fans and by that Tifo, I'm sure means a lot, but it just signifies what he's done for the club over the years.
Shannon, best of luck for Minnesota.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
As Shannon Murray with Adam Sussman on what is certainly a special night inside Providence Park. Yes, the Timbers trying to keep up their strong performance here inside the home building, but also the final match for Dairon Asprilla with the Portland Timbers after 9.5, close to 10 seasons, and so many iconic moments for Dairon over the years here in the green and gold. Asprilla pending a transfer to Atlético Nacional in his native Colombia. There will be a minute-long applause for him at the 27th minute inside the building from Timbers Army, and he is available for selection in Phil Neville's 18 as well. All right, that will wrap it up for the pregame show tonight. Coming up, Adam Sussman and Aaron Heinzen will get you the McDonald's starting 11s for both sides and set you up for kickoff. The second regular season meeting between a pair of Western Conference foes. Timbers trying to repay Minnesota United, who got them earlier in the year. It's Timbers in Minnesota. Kickoff coming up on 7:50 The Game.
Get a drive-thru coffee. Watch half an episode of reality TV. Take a dang shower. All things you could do instead of a diaper run when you have a Hello Bello subscription. Hello Bello believes all families deserve premium quality baby products. Super soft, super absorbent, super cute. And for all the tired parents listening, super easy. Go to hellobello.com/sound to get 30% off your first customized bundle and a full-sized freebie product of your choice with promo code SOUND.
My muscles ached. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
you don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had West Nile virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
This is Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPM. America's fuel and petrochemical manufacturers are committed to reducing emissions. Brianne, an engineer and fuels researcher, explains how.
Liquid fuels have the ability to pack a lot of energy into a small place. Using lower emission fuels in the existing fleet of cars and trucks that are on the roads today, we can reduce carbon dioxide, making meaningful steps towards greenhouse gas reduction.
To learn more, visit WeMakeProgress.org. This is Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPM. America's fuel and petrochemical manufacturers are committed to reducing emissions. Brianne, an engineer and fuels researcher, explains how.
Liquid fuels have the ability to pack a lot of energy into a small place. Using lower emission fuels in the existing fleet of cars and trucks that are on the roads today, we can reduce carbon dioxide, making meaningful steps towards greenhouse gas reduction.
To learn more, visit WeMakeProgress.org.
This is Portland's most listened to sports station, 750 The Game, KXTG Portland, your play-by-play home of the Portland Timbers.
In swinging, ball headed in! Niascota! Minutes after coming into the match, the Timbers break through to go up 1-0.
I want to be a club that plays with passion on the field to make the fans proud.
Plays Felipe Mora in, shoots and scores! And the Portland Timbers have taken a lead in the 83rd minute.
Always, in every moment, give everything 100%.
Marcinkowski spills it. Asprilla overhead kick and scores! An incredible goal!
Timbers Radio is brought to you by Providence Sports Medicine. We make you better by any measure.
Once again, they get it done when it matters most.
Now, with Aaron Heinzen, here's Adam Sussman.
Tyrone Asprilla's last dance. After 8.5 seasons, he dons the Timbers green for the last time in MLS Match Week 21 versus Minnesota United. Welcome to Providence Park. I'm Adam Sussman, joined by my broadcast partner, Aaron Heinzen. Aaron, a canyon separated Minnesota and Portland about 5 weeks ago. Now, present day, just 2 points and motivation plenty to hop Minnesota in the table.
Yeah, it's been incredible rise for the Portland Timbers. We've seen it come together. And what's interesting about this matchup, it happened right around the time of the Minnesota game. They get the win prior against San Jose. They go to Minnesota. Opportunities were there. Minnesota managed to hold them off. And then since then, the Timbers have been red hot, as you said, Adam. So it's going to be a great game tonight. A lot of different variables out there, and I'm looking forward to this one.
2 players battling on the pitch tonight and also battling in all-star voting, Evander and Robin Lund. Both are tied third in MLS for assists with 10 apiece. Each of them really whoever has a better game may end up in more goals.
Well, it's interesting, too, is Evander, he's been scoring goals, too. Robin Lod, while he's got the assists, he also adds in the goals, but I feel like Evander maybe has a little bit of the edge. He can create things from almost anywhere. The interesting fact about Robin Lod is he can play so many different positions, but depending on what the service he gets will depend on how effective he is, where Evander can disappear for 10, 15 minutes, and then suddenly he makes a difference. Robin Lod is somebody who needs to create with other players, while Evander, for me, is a standalone talent.
One of your forward keys to the game was bring the Timbers mentality and identity early. Don't let Minnesota have a chance, and the numbers back that up, Aaron. When Minnesota concede first, they are 2-6-2. When they score first, undefeated this season.
Yeah, they're a difficult team to break down, and they don't have a lot of possession, so it's going to be on Portland to come out here, use the home field advantage, come at them quick tonight and try and get something. They have almost their entire team together, where, as we talked about in the pregame, Minnesota are missing some big key parts tonight.
11's coming out for the Portland Timbers and Minnesota United. For Portland, they're all green kit, in which they have the best record of any kit this season. And for Minnesota United, it's not quite their Starry Night one, but it's a light blue on top and then white all the way down from the chest. The 11 for the Portland Timbers almost picks itself, Aaron. James Pantemis in net, as Maxime Crépeau is still with the Canadian national team. Claudio Bravo, Dario Super, Zach McGraw, and Juan Mascara. A backline that has 3 clean sheets in their last 6. In front of them, Diego Chara and David Ashala have truly formed a great partnership over the last few months. And the front 4, Jonathan Rodriguez, Evander Santiago Moreno, right behind Felipe Mora, who has scored in his last 6 home games. He is bursting with confidence.
Yeah, this team has gelled now, and now for the Portland Timbers, it's about taking the next step. How big of a game can you put together? Can you go a full 90 minutes and dominate in both the attack and defensively to make a kind of complete performance? That's what Portland is looking for now. They got a really nice result last weekend at home against Vancouver, but everybody thought in the second half they kind of took their foot off the gas. If they get something earlier in the game against Minnesota, can they make it a complete performance?
We're going to jump out to one more break. When we come back, we're bringing the starting 11 for Minnesota and kickoff between the Portland Timbers and Minnesota United.
If you try to buy a gun for someone who can't, you could face 15 years in jail. If someone asks you to lie to a federally licensed firearm retailer so you can buy a gun for them, don't. It's not worth 15 years in jail. Don't lie for the other guy. Brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation at don'tlie.org.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
This is Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPM. America's fuel and petrochemical manufacturers are committed to reducing emissions. Brianne, an engineer and fuels researcher, explains how.
Liquid fuels have the ability to pack a lot of energy into a small place. Using lower emission fuels in the existing fleet of cars and trucks that are on the roads today, we can reduce carbon dioxide, making meaningful steps towards greenhouse gas reduction.
To learn more, visit WeMakeProgress.org.
As a registered nurse, I know the value of dedication, rewards, and flexibility. That's why I joined the RN Tiered Incentive Program at UVA Health. I earn up to $15 more per hour on top of market-leading wages. Simply commit to 72 hours per pay period, with 48 hours working nights and flexing remaining hours. The RN Tiered Incentive Program works for me. To apply, visit careers.uvahealth.org.
How is your business navigating through the challenges that this global pandemic has produced? Are you looking forward to reconnecting? Gianna King Commercial Cleaning Services wants to partner with our community to help provide safe facilities for the return of your employees, customers, and students. Gianna King is your local solution to all of your cleaning and disinfecting needs. Trust the King of Clean like so many of your neighbors. Find us at giannaking.com.
just around the corner. As you can hear, Timbers Army ready to explode. The 11s are sharing pleasantries at the middle of the pitch before they share battle just moments away. I'm Adam Sussman, joined by Aaron Heinzen, as promised. The starting 11 for Minnesota United. Clint Irwin, the backup keeper, 35 years old. 215th game in MLS while he's 35 years old. Certainly experience for a backup keeper. Devin Paddleford is back in the lineup after facing concussion a few weeks ago against Seattle. Miguel Tapias, Michael Boxall, and DJ Taylor round out the back four. Joseph Rosales, who's usually a left wing back, will be playing left mid today. He'll help out defensively against Santiago Moreno. Robin Ludd, Will Trapp, two 31-year-olds and two of the top players in MLS. And Caden Clark, a 21-year-old winger from Medina, Minnesota, a home local product, will play outright. And up top, two of the fastest in MLS, Song Bing Jung and Bakahukli Ulongwane. Minnesota in this 11 certainly have advantages over the Timbers in terms of speed out wide and centrally, but with Portland and David Ishala's emergence, they can overload the midfield.
Yeah, Portland have the kind of the front foot right now with the home field advantage and the way they've been playing, and Minnesota at the moment. But we talked about the speed that they have up top and what they can bring on the wings as well with Rosales. And Caden Clark, he's also working his way back into the season. He's had some impressive performances on that right-hand side, and he can provide some as well. And don't forget about the midfield experience with Will Trapp and Robin Ludd. So plenty of attacking options for Minnesota here tonight.
So Aaron, as a former defender yourself, how is this game defensively different for the Timbers than, let's say, the Vancouver, San Jose, or St. Louis game? Those three matches, all of which Dario Zubric and Zach McGraw were partners together.
Well, we heard, Adam, in your interview with Shannon Murray talking about the pressure that is needed on the back line for Minnesota, not allowing them a lot of time on the ball to get that service over the top. And if there isn't any pressure on the ball, the Timbers will need to drop and be aware of that speed from Sang Bin and Hlongwane. That's going to be a big key, not to get caught out, not to lose sight of those players running in behind you. That's going to be the biggest one for me. For the rest, Portland will know what the job that they'll have to do. You have to put pressure on Robin Ludd anytime around the top of the 18, but that's pretty standard stuff. But for me, the big one, the space in behind, is what you have to be careful with.
Minnesota United 5th place coming into Saturday, while the Portland Timbers 2 points behind them in 6th. Minnesota, not a half bad road team. 4 wins, 4 losses, and the draw, collecting 13 of their 29 points away from Allianz Field. Aaron, so much in this game will be about the start and who scores the first goal. Record for Minnesota when scoring first, 6-0-3, undefeated. While for the Portland Timbers, when they score first, 5-2-3. One of those losses came to Minnesota at Allianz Field. How much stock are you putting into the previous meeting between these two?
Well, I think a little bit, actually, because Portland at that time felt that they could have got more out of that game. And again, I go back to Dane St. Clair not being here and away with Canada right now, and he was a huge part of that Minnesota defense on that evening as we saw chances for Nathan Fogasha. And I still think about that play